the Big O Show. This is 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 the Big O Show. This
So here's the putting green. See? There you go. Got two flags. One is over there where Cutter's Edge Pro. It's not coming out now. Come on. Come on, wind. Give me a little wind. No, unfortunately. But there you go. And this one says Big O here. There you go. So there's my putting green. It's about, I would say about 25 feet, something like that. I get to practice, have a little fun. See? And then, of course, we got, the bunkers. Got to have the bunkers, man. Got all kinds of bunkers there. You know what I'm saying? So that's a taste of our backyard. There's Maiden right there. Maiden. Bono, how you doing, Bono? Bono. He's a Carolina dog, by the way. These dogs are amazing. Their temperaments are awesome. But there is the Sylvester Palm, which is just beautiful. All right, call my guys, Will and Mike at Cutter's Edge Pro. They will take care of you. Dogs are not included. Okay.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them.
With Slomins, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation.
Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Ready to rock and roll from beautiful Hialeah Park on Thursday. Yes, we freak everybody out here in the second floor poker room every Thursday at this time. If you want to get freaked out, just join us here Thursdays at 3 o'clock, and then you'll hear myself howling in the wind and telling you that we are ready to rock and roll here at Hialeah Park. Yes, sir. Home of the loosest slots in the state. So come on out and join us. Appreciate all of you out there. Don't forget, we'll be at Walk-Ons in Kendall on Sunday, starting off at 11 a.m. with the one and only Sean Stanley. That's right. He's going to be there. Sean Stanley will be there. So join us. Have all kinds of prizes. Picked up some stuff from Perdomo and Caneswear the last couple of days. People at Caneswear told me, Lisa, you were there at Caneswear. Thank you. Lisa is visiting from the Rochester area, and she stopped by over at Caneswear and obviously mentioned us. And remember, you also get 10% off when you mention our code Big O10. When you mention Big O Show, you will get 10% off there. You use the code online Big O10 and you will get 10% off there. So make sure you join us there, okay, at Caneswear, and tell them that you heard it here. So we got a bunch of prizes to give away. We always have all kinds of prizes. Big O T-shirts we're going to give away, Perdomo prizes, Caneswear, Dolphin prizes, okay? Because, Caneswear, they sell Dolphins, Marlins, Panthers, Heat, Inter Miami, obviously, and anything and everything with the U. But we got Dolphin goods. And there was a really nice Dolphins hat that's embroidered, an embroidered Dolphin shirt, a gift card. All kinds of stuff. So we give away prizes after every quarter. So after the first quarter, at halftime, after the end of the third quarter, and the 2-minute warning. And the 2-minute warning usually is the grand prize.
Gave away this beach cooler last month. That was a big ass beach cooler. And then the beach umbrella before that, right? The big ass beach umbrella before that. So there you go. There you go. There you go. It's a beautiful thing. Love it. I love it. I love it. I just saw a guy that had he had a Florida tag that was an agricultural tag, and then it said CBD USA. How about that? Is that so cool or what? Some tells me that guy's growing. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's just too funny. I saw that and I was like, wow, that is trippy right there. You that was good. That was really, really good. You got to give him all the love in the world. By the way, Ira Winderman will be joining us in a couple of minutes, so we'll have some fun with Ira, and we'll talk all things Heat. The Heat are back in action tonight, by the way, and the other thing is, I think they're favored by 3.5, if I'm correct. I already took the Heat today. Wait a minute, what did Did I leave my sheet that I prepared in my bag, or did I leave it in the studio at home? Okay. Let's see what I did. Okay, there we go. All right, yes, favored by 3.5, yes. And by the way, I did take a parlay today on the Hard Rock app. Yeah, I did. I'm gonna try to do the. You're gonna walk me through this today, all right? So basically, what I do in the studio, I just download Playback TV on the same PC that I use for sound. Huh? Yeah, I think so. Okay. All right. But I logged in. I got to log in on my PC, right? So that way, not because I did it all on the phone. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. That's it. All right. Good stuff. Appreciate it as always. Thank you. So I might do that today. Once I get home, I'll get it all set up, and hopefully I'll do the Playback TV today. So look for it on I guess on Twitter. I can put the feed, right? So on Twitter at Big O Show, I'll put the link up for Playback TV. I'm pretty sure I opened up the account as Big O Radio Show. I'm pretty sure of that. All right, here it is, Playback TV. Okay, there we go. All right. So see, it's check marked. Become a creator. That means I'm a creator, correct? Here, just make sure. I got to make sure that I'm that creator thing before. He's the technical guy, not me. So but I'm going to try to do that today, and we're going to try to do the live betting today with the Heat and the Nets and have some fun with that. I took it already. I already gave the 3.5. I did my initial bet because I think the Heat are going to want revenge. I mean, shit. The kid Jaquez is already thinking about revenge. So, huh? Go back like this. There you go. So, I think they're going to be kind of hungry for this game. Believe it or not, this early in the season. The one thing about the Heat that I'm kind of, I think they're actually taking this thing seriously. I actually think they're not necessarily coasting here like they normally have been the last couple of years in the preseason, in the regular season early on. They're actually playing hard and wanting to have a good record, which is smart because you don't want to go through what you had to go through last year. You need to be up there in the standings and maybe have home court in that first round. I know they're not going to be a number 1 or number 2 seed. They're not that good. Although who knows? I mean, this is why I didn't panic at 1-4 because look at them now. Where are they? They're 7-4. You know, there was no reason to panic at 1-4. So I am, right? I'm set up. Right. Well, oh, so I got to do it in the okay. So then I'll set up the room tonight when I get home. I can't set up the room here? No? Okay. All right. So playback TV, look for the link. I'll put it on I'll put it on Twitter and on LinkedIn and on Threads and on all that, and then you guys can join us. And then I'm going to start doing that more often. I think the playback TV stuff. Okay, I will do that more often. Omar says, Big O, will you be visiting Slattery's in New York City anytime in the future? I missed the meeting you the last time, but don't want to miss again. Omar, at the moment there isn't a plan, but hopefully we'll get to do something down the line and go to New York for I don't know what. You know what I mean? One of the things that I'd love to do is the MetLife takeover. That's one thing that I definitely want to experience is the MetLife takeover. Got to experience that. Big O, looking ahead to the Raiders, in your opinion, is the 13.5-point spread a bit high? It is. I mean, I wouldn't lay the 13.5 points ever in anything, pretty much. But I think they'll win by that much. They should. I mean, you got Jalen Ramsey back. There's no reason for Aiden O'Connell. You know, I was on yesterday with JT the Brick, and JT and I have been friends for 20 years. And so I was on his show yesterday to preview the game. And, I'm on the Raiders Nation and all that stuff. And I was telling him, I have a kinship to you guys in a way. And I was using their situation to our situation, our old situation. I said, I admire what's gone on the last 2 weeks with you guys, but you've beaten up on bad teams that have no offense. This is a team that has an explosive offense now. And now that they got Jalen Ramsey back, that defense is going to go to another They shut out Mahomes last week, I told them. They shut him out for an entire half. I just don't expect Aiden O'Connell to do anything against his secondary. I just don't. You're going to have to be elite to go against the most elite quarterback in the NFL 2 weeks ago got stymied by this defense. Okay? He got his points early, and then they did nothing. They never looked like they did on that first drive ever again for the rest of that game. And so I think they'll win by the 13.5 points. I wouldn't lay the points. What I would do is, this is what I would do. I would wait for the live spread to happen. And then, not that I'm hoping for it, but let's say the Raiders win the toss. And, they have like a giant upstart. They drive down the field in the first drive, boom, 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 and they get a quick 7-point. That 13.5 all of a sudden switches, and it'll go way down. And maybe it's 9 or 10 or 8. And then you can say, okay, let me bet it now. And that's probably what I would do if I'm you. I wouldn't lay the 13.5, even though I feel pretty confident. I would kind of wait for the live line and see what happens, And so we'll do that tonight. I'll show you tonight when we do the Nets game. I'm going to kind of walk you through what I do betting on live games and have a little fun with all of that. Barry Jackson reported yesterday that the teammates of Tua like him because he takes he lays the sword. Yeah, for all of them, of course. But that's he goes, I remember you making that point several times in the past. Jayhawk, that's what leaders do. Leaders have to, and this is for a corporation. This is for a football team. This is for a casino. This is for any business. Should always assume the responsibilities that go with it. You never want people that all they seem to do is, lay the blame elsewhere. And when you're in charge, there's a reason why you're in charge. So if something goes wrong, it's on you, dude.
It's on you in the end. You hired that person. You gave that person authority. You delegated responsibility to that person. They're being paid to do this, but it was your decision. So in the end, somebody may have failed, but it has to fall on you as the leader. And, it doesn't matter if it's, a guy that's just on the side of the ship there trying to tie some stuff up and all that, and he screws up. It's on the captain, because that's part of his crew. And that's what Tua has to do. That's what head coaches have to do. They have to assume responsibilities for the mistakes. They must be the lightning bolt. Even let us decipher. Let us make the translation of what it really happened. But the leader has to fall on the sword every time. Leaders that point fingers aren't leaders. You know what I mean? Because they don't understand the big picture. You're the big kahuna, right? You're the guy at the top. You're the woman at the top. Well, you put everybody under you in place. Responsibilities on you. Doesn't matter what they do, falls on you. And that's what you love about Tua. He's never going to point fingers. He's never going to throw people under the bus. It's not who he is. He's fine with taking the heat. You know what I mean? I mean, we saw it even with Flo. Even in the Flo moments, right? He never, ever, made an excuse, never pointed a finger, nothing, not even at Flo, which he could have easily, pointed fingers. Like the other day, TVD, when they asked him about something, why didn't you do it? He goes, have no idea. And that's kind of like, kind of throwing things under the bus. Not necessarily pointing fingers, but kind of throwing under the bus when you just got to kind of assume and take the responsibility. Spo does that all the time. You never will ever see Spo pointing a finger or making an excuse. Not in his DNA. Real leaders don't make excuses. Real leaders assume responsibility, even if it's not directly on them, but it's somebody under them. They will still assume the responsibility of that mistake. That's what real leaders do. They handle everything else behind the scenes. And that's what you got to respect about people like that. All right, let's get to it. He's ready to go. Ira Winderman, baby, and our Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
All right. There he is, locked and loaded and ready to go. The man that feared the Brooklyn Nets when they had Durant and Kyrie. The man that was panicking at 1-4, and now they're 7-4. Are you relaxed now? Are you relaxed?
God, don't aggregate this the wrong way, people, but let's look at the winning streak, and let's look at the Washingtons and the Memphises and the Charlottes. It's a nice
business. They're taking care of business. I
understand.
They lose those stinking games at times.
So, again, I need a signature win. This upcoming trip, even tonight against Brooklyn, they're playing better. But a couple against Chicago, New York, game in New York there, game in Cleveland, then I'll feel a little better. But you know what? You're right. No one at the end of the year when they look at the final record says, well, but 6 of these were against bad teams and 5 of these were near losses. So I get that. You take care of business. Most people from a national perspective. But Big O, matter of fact, I'm going to jump you into something I'm sure you want to talk about anyway. So they are 7-4 and they are in good shape. And yet what do we wake up to? Zach LaVine. And he might come to the Heat and they might do something. And here's my problem. In about, from when I'm talking to you right now, about 4 hours, I'm going to be in the Heat locker room. Tyler Hero will be in that Heat locker room. Poor guy. He has done everything he possibly can to show his value to this team, and yet here he is all over again. He's the name that's being mentioned at The Athletic and Sports Illustrated and other places. The Heat should trade for Zach LaVine, so I want to be on record here. I would not do
I
that
agree.
deal.
I
And
agree.
I think this is something I've spoken to Orlando Alzagari on our Acura Pembroke Pines reports.
I'm
We
with
went through the names. We said Lillard, sure. We said Drew Holiday, maybe. Both of us said Bradley Beal, no.
Oh.
One-dimensional scorer who has never won in this league, we're concerned about.
Kind of soft.
Zach LaVine makes $20 million more a year than Tyler Hero. I don't see it, What say you?
No, not even close. He can't shoot like Tyler. So why? I'm in a shooting league. No, so now I'm going to lower my shooting percentage again. I have enough 2-point shooters on this team and not good enough 3-point shooters. No. I'm not getting rid of to me, the Heat are not involved in this. This is just people throwing shit out there and try. It doesn't make so you're telling me the Heat is saying to themselves, which they could be because they are this good, we can make him much more efficient.
I think they believe that about any player. Yes, I think they believe that about any player. But Big O, you know what? You've spoken over the years about luxury tax and the Arisons and spending monies, but I think you and I would both agree, in a salary cap luxury tax world, the big dollars matter, and you better get the big dollars right.
Right.
Because if you don't get the big dollars right, it all goes to crap.
Right.
If you have that bad contract. Fortunately for them right now, the Duncan Robinson contract, not a bad contract.
Actually, I was going to tell you that I told Anthony this earlier in the week. I said it's now because it's Goran Dragic all over again. Oh my God, they're paying Goran Dragic. Oh, 2 years later, hey, the Goran Dragic contract is right in line.
Market value.
A little bit of a bargain. And guess what? The Duncan contract is right in line, or maybe even a bit of a bargain now. In fact, the Duncan Robinson contract now is easily tradable.
Well, but more than that, without Max Strus, you need Duncan. So
I know, but what I'm saying is it's no longer a burden.
Albatross. It's no longer an albatross.
You're getting what
right.
You're getting what you're paying for. And if you feel like there's a star available and you got to throw stuff in, that contract will be accepted by anybody at this point. And that's the good. Hey, I'll top that. Okay. Last 4 games. Here we go. He has 21, 24, 26, and 30. Bam Adebayo, very, small sample size, but he, over the last week and a half, is kind of playing like the franchise guy. Like he is imposing his offensive will a little bit more, and I really like that. Now, I need to see it over a couple of months because he never does that. But if he starts doing this, I'm starting to see a player that is not deferring me as much. He is being more aggressive offensively, and I like that.
It was interesting. I was talking to Dave Hyde this morning saying we should do a column or a piece on Bam, and he asked me, what do you think of Bam? And I said, Bam finally is adding the offensive component to the defensive greatness he had. And then I told him, Orlando Alzagari continues to call him a super role player. And I think he is moving out of that because this offense can be sustained. Here's the deal. So many people look at his middies, his mid-range shot, his bad shots in today's NBA. But like Eric Spoelstra says, there's no bad high percentage shot.
Right.
Just because most people can twist in the lane and take a 9-footer and make it 80% of the time, it's not a good shot for them. But for Bam, who can do that, it is a good shot. And he's showing that. And again, we're at this very interesting intersection now, Big O, and I don't have an answer. Bam is doing this right now with Tyler Hero out. Can this team get to a point, we talk about big threes, where Jimmy, Tyler, and Bam can all get it going at the same time? So many people said the run to the finals came when Tyler went out, when Bam stepped up, and when Jimmy really stepped up.
Yeah.
Can it work? It works. 2 of the 3 have worked well. I think you would agree all the time. Tyler works well with Bam. Bam works well with Jimmy. Jimmy can work well with Tyler to a degree. But the 3 of them together, we need to see that before we can say, okay, whatever it takes for Jimmy, these other guys on the new contracts, we're going to make it work. If you believe these 3 can work together in lockstep, which we haven't fully seen yet, then you take the Zach LaVine stuff and you throw it aside. If you don't believe they can work together, then you say we still have to twist and tinker a little bit more and tweak this thing.
Well, the counter I would have to that, where I think it can work and why, you have the perfect superstar.
because Jimmy will happily defer and allow Bam and Tyler to carry the offensive load, and he'll help defensively and facilitating and being the leader that he is, and presence and all that stuff that he brings to the table. To me, it can work because you have the superstar that does not, I have to have my 30. I have to have my 30. Jimmy will be fine if these two guys are carrying the load offensively and they're winning. That's all Jimmy gives a shit about. So in the end, I think it can work. Now, we've had all these injuries and inconsistencies, whether Jimmy's out or whether Tyler's out. Bam never misses. But we haven't had really where they stayed healthy, all three of them, for an extended period of time, so we can actually find out if they can do it. And now the way things are, I don't want to get ahead of myself because then I get excited and then Bam lets me down again. But if this is Bam again, and then you bring Tyler back, that's where Jimmy can say, okay, now I can save myself and I can use the youngins, let them run the horsepower. I can cruise control. I can, control it. And then in the playoffs, then I can be the guy that turns it on when you need it and do all the other things. So I think they are situated for it to actually work. We just need to see it for an extended period of time to see if it does work.
And you have to see it together because look at the game in Charlotte. When they needed to close, who closed? Jimmy Butler closed and closed well. I know he missed a couple of free throws, but he did the daggers when needed. But that's because Tyler wasn't out there also. Would Jimmy have deferred in that situation, maybe to lesser shots and not been the bulldog? So we do need to see all three of them together playing at a high level because, Big O, I've got to tell you this. This is something that he might do as well as anyone. I just posted a story at sunsentinel.com about it. They really have lined up the supporting pieces this year. Whether it's Duncan, whether it's Jaime Jaquez, whether it's Haywood Highsmith. Tonight against the Nets, Caleb Martin scheduled to come back. All of a sudden, you say to yourself, there's 4 or 5 players who absolutely know their roles. In no game does Duncan Robinson, Haywood Highsmith, Caleb Martin, Jaime Jaquez, Josh Richardson go into the game, Kevin Love, and saying, I'm going to be the man. That's a great thing to also have. That guys who are willing to support, because it's a sport to a world about egos. The Heat have enough egoless in Caleb Martin, in Haywood Highsmith, that they find those players. We were worried about losing Gabe Vincent. We were concerned about losing Max Strus. The Heat just keep grinding them out, don't they? Jaime is Max Strus.
Yes.
You find the next guy. You do that. That's what
I wasn't worried about replacing their points. Remember, I was only worried about ball handling. That's the only thing I was really worried about. I figured the way this coaching staff is, and I'm expecting Highsmith to take that next step, and it's already in the process. Sure. And Jaquez he's the shit, dude. He's the shit. You can tell he's the shit, man. He can play, bro. He's a really smart kid and fearless of any moment too. On top of all of that, when he took on LeBron the other day, and what's he saying now? We owe the Nets. I like that. This kid plays with an edge. And
he's a mature, polished rookie. You don't get that very often.
And eventually, we'll see something from Jokic. I know it, but he's still a baby. He's still green. Yes. He's still growing. He's got to mature. So that's fine. But at the moment, they don't need him. That's the beauty of hitting on Jokic, is that and then hitting on Highsmith, by the way, finding another guy overall. And let me tell you something. You put Jaquez and Highsmith and Bam and Butler and Caleb out there at the end of a game to stop a shot.
Even Richardson, they have so many.
Put out an all-nasty 5 defenders out there in the end of a game to just you don't have to put out Drew or Lowry, even though they're Lowry's a decent defender in his own right, but you can put those 5 guys out there. I was talking about this yesterday on Twitter, and if you just want to this is our best unit out there to go stop somebody, I really like it, man.
Yeah, they can go completely junkyard dog with a Highsmith and a Martin and a Butler and Adebayo, and whether it's Jay Rich or one of the other guys. Yeah, you could put a junkyard dog 5 out there. The concern has been and will be scoring on this team. Again, they got to the NBA Finals, scored over 96 points just once. So again, if Bam and Tyler can all score at a high average while playing together, you have it solved. That's what Pat Riley's asking for. That's what we wait for.
And what I think is also going to help this year compared to last year is I think you're going to be a better defensive team this year than you were last year.
And so that I think that will maybe offset a little bit of the fact that you don't have a ton of firepower from the 3-point range. You have a couple of guys, but you don't have a ton of them. And so you're going to have to offset that somehow. And I think you have more stoppers now maybe on the court at this point.
Yeah, it's going to be a different game. It's going to be typical Heat ugly because that's who they are. Jimmy plays an ugly game. Yeah. But again, they have the pieces right now. I probably look at only Boston as being ahead of the curve to that degree. Milwaukee's regressed with their defense, not very good. Philly has shown they're still figuring they're getting their legs after the Harden trade. I think, when you look at the Knicks and you look at the Cavaliers, they're just teams. And the one thing about the Heat is you have a Spoelstra to make a difference, whether it's a playoff series or late in the season in the standings. Again, Big O, 12 of the first 17 for the Heat are on the road. It ends after the upcoming road trip when they play in Brooklyn. Then it's house money. If you even wind up 500 during this trip, if you even wind up 8-9 at the start of the season, you have all those home games. You have plenty of time to make things up. And you know what? The 10-day reevaluation from Tyler out of the walking boot, that comes by Friday or Saturday. So there might even be more good news in the short run.
Yeah. No, and listen, you mentioning on just to follow up on the Milwaukee thing, as much as I want the Damian Lillard thing to happen here, the main reason why I wanted it is because Jimmy needed that other guy to take the load off of him. But I also knew that Damian Lillard wasn't going to be a great defender.
No,
and
he
so
isn't.
When they traded Drew Holiday off that team and you added Lillard, you hurt your perimeter defense in the process. Now, you did bring in a killer offensive player that is
correct.
Ice in his veins in the key moments, which that's the reason why I wanted him here. Because
even Wednesday night, Lillard scored 35, assisted on 35 points. 70 of the game's points against Toronto, albeit they're sort of up and down right now, shows you what he can do. I think what happened to the Bucks was after what Jimmy did to Drew Holiday in that playoff series, I think the Bucks realized, hey, Drew's not the be-all, end-all. We have to go in a different direction. If Milwaukee doesn't make this work with Lillard, you can make a case that Jimmy Butler broke the Bucks.
Yeah, and I would imagine that behind the scenes, they are. It seems like from what everybody is writing and talking about, they are absolutely giddy with what they see from Jaquez.
Oh, beyond giddy. He's ready. He's good to go. It's like, I almost typed the word rookie before him, but he doesn't feel like a rookie. And Big O, if you had a chance to talk to him, you see his interviews. He's mature. He defers to leadership. He understands that it's Bam's team and Jimmy's team and Tyler when he gets back. He appreciates his place. And I love the wonderment that everything to him is still fun and fascinating. You kind of like that refreshingness in the locker room as well.
Yeah. What are you expecting tonight? Because Brooklyn's missing a few guys.
Yeah, but they're actually missing worser guys, if there's such a word. The last time they came in without Spencer Dinwiddie, without Cameron Johnson, without Nick Claxton, they're a better team than when they came here last time and beat Miami on November 1st. So this has to be payback. This is the second of 3 games against the Nets in a 25-day span. You've got to be better than the Nets. Last season, the Heat had a late season loss to the Nets, wound up in the play-in round. Make your statement against Brooklyn now. You should be able to beat this team. It's your only home game in 10. You've got to get it done. Hey, and then you get to go back on the road against the dysfunctional Bulls.
And by the way, this should become a drug for you. You looked at yourself, you were 1-4. Now you're 7-4.
Yes.
You're climbing the standings. You should see this, right? I'm so proud of the Heat and the Panthers because you don't want to do this shit again where you dig yourself in a hole and then you got to climb out of the bottom of the playoffs and, come on, man, let's go and build that record up. Give yourself a chance.
And same thing about the Panthers. You could look at the Panthers the other day and go, oh my God, San Jose is awful. Why was it that tough of a game? The Heat can go, oh my God, Charlotte is awful. Why is that tough of a game? But again, to wrap this whole thing up in our accurate Pembroke Pines report, you got the W. That's all people are going to remember.
That's it. That's all that matters. What do you got going on in the Sun Sentinel? So folks,
I wrote the story that everyone wants. I wrote about Jaime Jaquez. He said he's learned to be a 6-man. He's taking in the game. He knows when he comes in, he has to change things. Then he knows when he plays with Jimmy and Bam late, he has to defer, make cuts. He's done that. And I wrote just now about the supporting cast. Guys like Duncan Robinson and Haywood Highsmith are getting together, realizing we're all for 1 and 1 for 2 right now and taking care of the 2 leading men. Did a thing also about what the Heat did in Overtown yesterday. Great thing. The turkey giveaway. Cool. Like they had to do Thanksgiving a week early because they're just not here. And what the Arisons are doing at halftime tonight for feeding Miami, making their donation on Give Miami Day. So you know what? It's a good time. You get home only for 1 day. They're taking care of the community before they head out in the cold.
Yeah, that was cool. Even Riley was there for the whole thing. That was awesome. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heapy. Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel and doing his thing here with the Acura Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report. Ira, as always, thank you. Enjoy the game tonight.
Catch you Monday. Hopefully the schedule works then. Thanks, Big O.
You got it, man. No problem. We're flexible. That is Ira Winderman. Get on down to 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 and Pines, and tell them that Big O sent you, Larry Schlossberg and the boys. They will take care of you at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's in Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
All right. Thank you, as always. All right. Let's see what we got on the chat board. Who's first? Angelo De Jesus is number 1 in today. And he says, good day, Big O and Sean. You guys are the best. Very, very nice, Angelo. Thank you. New name at the top there. Yeah. Jamie Zoria coming in from San Jose. Thursday Night Football looks very tasty. Yep. I already took the Bengals. I think it's -3.5, I want to say. Yeah, I already gave the points, and then I'll watch, live, and we'll can I bounce around on playback TV to both? Yeah. Oh, okay. So I have to have it on my TV provider in order to see it. So then I have to then literally connect also my subscription to that then. Oh, okay. Uh-huh. They're partnered. Yeah. Okay. Oh, the Heat game will be there. Okay. All right, good. All right. J-Town says, howdy, y'all. Early to the party today. I'm driving down from South Carolina to the Jets game with my son in a few weeks. I have Caneswear and Perdomo on my list to stop and purchase some Christmas gifts. There you go. All right, J-Town. Make sure you mention us when you go to Perdomo. And by the way, ask him, maybe Nick's there. Nick will take a picture. He's such a good dude, man. So when you go there, ask if Nick Perdomo, Nick Jr. is there. You'd like to meet him, and they would gladly meet you and then mention my name, and they'll take care of you, man. They're good people. Yes, sir. Oh, okay, whatever. I took Cincy, so I got 3.5. I got 3.5 from Cincy. Yeah. No, I took Cincy. I think they're winning this game. The way Joe Burrow's. I know he has a sleeve on his wrist that they apparently pulled that picture and all that, but the picture's out already. So,
the funny part about it was AFC North was the talk because all the teams were in the playoffs.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
All of them lost Sunday.
Right.
And now one of them is about to lose their second game in 4 days.
Right. Yeah.
So it's very quickly bouncing out.
Yeah. Exactly. And eventually, the issues are the issues. Skylar Tipton says, afternoon, cornrow Tua is about to throw 5 TDs on Sunday. Yeah, baby. He's sporting the cornrows. Huh? No, not yet. Steven Gonzalez in, no doubt. Jean-Luc is in, One-Eyed Jack. Willie Bell from Palmetto. All right, Willie Bell. Welcome aboard, my friend. Nyborg in. Picked up 3 Perdomo 10th anniversary champagnes at my local cigar shop. Plan to smoke one when we win the AFC East. I like it, Nyborg. There you go. 10th anniversary is really good, and champagne is delicious, dude. That's one of those Connecticut wrappers that is just rich in flavor. Marcus is in. Can't think of a better way to end the workday than with Big O Show. Thank you. Don't forget to smash the like button. That's it. Smash it. Brian Landis is in. Giovanni is in. Tommy Mayer. Gus 1388. Let's see. Chad in.
Let's see. So Take It sports betting is legal in Florida now. Yes, it is, Tommy. The Hard Rock app is out. Big O looking ahead. Raiders in Europe. Okay, well, I read that one earlier. Oh, what are your thoughts on the Draymond chokehold of Gobert? Draymond Green's a crazy character, bro. You know what I mean? And Rudy Gobert is kind of an idiot in his own right. And I think he was kind of like holding on to Steph Curry, was it? Or no, it was Thompson, right? I think it was Thompson, yes. And so he went to go defend his guy, and whatever. He went a little far. That was definitely. He probably should get into wrestling when he's done with this. That was a good joke, and he got 5 games for it. But what can I tell you? It's just.
That's the guy you want on your team, though, right? To have your back, Draymond. Although he's crazy as anything, but I mean,
yes,
you're not
at that moment. You want him. Yes, I don't want him anymore on my team now because he's no longer.
Yeah, now he's that guy, though, right? He's the goon.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, that's what he's there for. Go out there, hit their guys the hardest you can, get your 5 fouls, get out of the game.
And they have to now, as a franchise, they just have to deal with these bad contracts now. Because those guys all won a whole bunch of titles for you. And so, because Klay Thompson is not worth what they're paying him, and neither is Draymond Green. Ugh. So bad deals, man. Bad deals. Big O, do you think the Finns use a Chan much this week, or do they slowly incorporate him into the offense? The kid is so dynamic. Who knows, man? Who knows? I don't think he'll get a ton of carries. I think he'll get some action, but I don't think they'll work him heavy this week. That's probably what it is. There's no reason to. You have plenty of running backs, dude. You don't need to make him a bell cow. So Ray says, howdy, nice fixed t-shirt. Thank you. Got this one at the latest fixed concert. I just thought it was freaking awesome. I don't have a lot of purple shirts that are concert shirts, so they rarely come in this color. And I saw it, and I love the blue, how the fix is written in, and then it's got the fellas. So I said, bet it up. Let me have it. I'm taking it with me. By the way, we got plenty of appearances if you're going. Let's see, tomorrow night, I'll be at Piper's Pub in Pompano to go see Joey Belladonna, and he's going to be singing Journey. Joey Belladonna is the singer of Anthrax, and Anthrax is a speed metal band. But if you've ever heard Joey Belladonna's voice, it is a magical voice. And he sings, he always sings a Ronnie James Dio song in every Anthrax show you go to. They'll sing a Ronnie James Dio song because he does a great Dio sound. He can sing Steve Perry. Okay? I'm telling you, he can sing Steve Perry. Oh, by the way, not only does he do Journey, he does Steve Perry solo. So you're going to hear a little, oh, Sherry. And so Joey Belladonna singing Journey, singing Steve Perry and Journey. Okay? Just saying, if you like Journey and you know nothing about Joey Belladonna because you don't know anything about Anthrax, it doesn't matter. Take my word for it, okay? And then thank me when you're there because you're going to see me there with my wife. My wife doesn't like Anthrax, so I wouldn't take her to an Anthrax show, okay? I would go to an Anthrax show every night. I love Anthrax. But she loves Journey. And so I'm going to take her because I know she's going to enjoy the hell out of this. So I'm telling you, it's like $20, $25. It's a joke. Piper's Pub. It's a little tiny place. So I'll be there. And then I'll be back the next day on Saturday to go see the Iron Maidens. Okay? Not Iron Maiden, the Iron Maidens. So it's 5 ladies that perform Iron Maiden music. And since Iron Maiden is one of my favorite songs, and I've always wanted to see the Iron Maidens. Yeah, I've never seen the ladies, go. So I want to go check.
Yeah, I have on YouTube. I've YouTubed them and everything. Yeah. Nita Strauss, who I love, was part of the Iron Maidens back in the day. She's on her own. But yeah, so I'm going to go to Pompano's Piper's Pub in Pompano Friday and Saturday with the wife. Monday, I'll be going with the wife to Panthers and Edmonton Oilers. So we will be at the Amerant Bank Arena on Monday. So if you're going out to the arena on Monday for the Panthers game, again, please say hi. Stop me. Would love to meet you. Yes, sir.
Jim Harbaugh, Big Ten, they've come to an agreement. Well, Michigan and the Big Ten have come to an agreement.
Oh, what happened?
Well, remember, he was filing a lawsuit and everything else. He's accepted.
Oh, so they've just come to a...
Basically, he's accepted the 3-game ban, no more investigation.
Okay.
So the investigation stops.
Right. In other words, stop the investigation or I'll leave to the pros. Oh, okay, Jim. Yes, we'll stop. That's translation for you. I don't know if you want me to do that. And Sunday, we're at Walk-Ons in Kendall. So Friday, Piper's Pub. Saturday, Piper's Pub. Sunday, Walk-Ons. Monday, Amerant Bank Arena. All right? So I'll be all over town if you happen to be going to any of those events. And Tuesday, we're back right here. Tuesday, right here. So you can be here Tuesday and then Wednesday, Acura. So, yeah, so it's appearances from tomorrow, from today. Yeah, that's it. It's a whole week of appearances all over the place. I'm like Sagua Fair. I'm everywhere. Okay? There you go. Live betting can definitely be the way to go. Oh, trust me, it's the best way to do it. I try to, guide you guys. I experiment for you all. By the way, Brooklyn Rob, thank you for the love yesterday because he sent me a little love on the DM because he took advantage of when I talked about Avalanche when it was down at $8 to $10. Now it's like at $22 and $23. So he's like, bro, thank you so much. I don't know how many of you ended up getting in earlier on Avalanche, but Avalanche is up to like $22. It got up to $23 last night. I don't know if it's a climb back because we had a little bit of a dip right now, which I'm telling you, man, if you don't have Bitcoin, this is the opportunity and maybe the last opportunity you will have. Bitcoin is just under 36 at 35,994. It was at 35.5. And it's going to go right back up to 37.38 very soon. But Avalanche, where are we? Where is Avalanche? Avalanche is at 21.84, a little bit of a dip. But, man, that was amazing. It was at 23.61. Okay? And this thing was it was down. Let me see where we at here. It was down to like $8 back in September. $8 to $9, $8 to $10, right around there. It was a monster buy. Now it's at 21 bucks. It'll be back up to 22, 23 shortly. This thing was in the 50s, and it's going to surpass that when it's all said and done. Avalanche will be a monster. A lot of you should be, if you bought the dips like I told you, I know because I'm in the green on those. You should be in the green on those too. Chef Jew says, what's good, Big O? And everyone, how y'all doing this afternoon? Check your pulse. Fins up. John Padilla is in. Rain dance in the Bay Area. Well, we had it today. We had it the last couple of days here, bro. It did not stop raining for, and you get flooding over in your area. Were you guys flooded up over in your area? Damn, dude.
We had to take the kid to school today in every area to get. Miami-Dade didn't close schools.
Right,
Broward did,
Broward
so I
did,
didn't have to take my daughter. But it was bad. It was bad out there.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah. And by the way, one more time, I gotta. We talk about artificial turf all the time, and it gets tested over and over. And we had rain for 2 days, last 2 or 3 days almost. It's been raining. I mean, my dogs are so spoiled. You open the back door, they look at the rain, they go, I'm good. Yeah, no, I'm good. Why don't you put one of those pads for me? I'm not going out there. Like dogs are, boy, when they're like, they're not an outside dog and all that kind of stuff. When they're inside dogs and they get spoiled, they're like, no, dude, I'm hearing the AC and all that. And no, I'm not going out there. I see all that rain. I'm not going to get wet, because sometimes I'll open the door when it gets really light so they can go out there and, pee really quickly, come back. We'll rub the towel on them and dry them real quick, towel dry them real quick. We'll do that, sometimes because they got to go to the damn bathroom. But, dude, my dogs were like, nah, I'll hold it. The little ones are not a problem. Actually, who's the only one that's fearless that always goes out in the rain? Guess who it is? Tua. My Yorkie. My Yorkie is Tua. For those of you that if you've been on the show for a while, you will understand why I call him Tua. That little son of a bitch is the most fearless dog I've ever seen in my life, bro. And he weighs like 4 ounces. He doesn't even weigh a pound. He weighs like ounces. You know what I'm saying? Some of you go get bags of weed that weigh more than my dog. Okay? And that dog is fearless of anything and everything. It is amazing how that dog will take on anyone. He doesn't realize that he can be squashed like a fly. Has no idea that he can be squashed like a fly. None whatsoever. But anyway, so yeah, it rained like crazy here, dude. And my dogs they are a trip. My 2 big dogs are like, nah, we're not going out. What do you think? They look at me like, what do you think? I'm stupid or something? Don't you see it's raining out there? I'm comfortable here. Why would I get wet? What's wrong with you? I'm going back to the couch. Leave me alone. And sure enough, dog goes right back to the leather couch and sits on the leather couch. Or pleather. Whatever it is. But, it's their couch. They can do whatever they want. Anyway, Tyler here for Zach LaVine is like trading hemorrhoids for crabs. Whatever, bro. Yeah, I think I'd rather have Tyler because he's a better shooter. I know that he's in, but so is Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine is also a sack of injuries. In my whole career, I have kept it as honest as possible, and I have never gone away from accountability. Tell me that I'm telling lies, says CM Punk. CM Punk never lies. Oh, would you agree Jaquez is now a core player along with Bam, Jimmy? Oh, yeah. For sure. You can see it, bro. Oh, do you have a favorite fixed song? Yes, Opinions. Mine is Stand or Fall, Saved by Zero, and Red Skies at Night. Yeah, those are very popular songs. Mine is Opinions, and they played it. It's funny because, rest in peace, my best friend Bill, it was also his favorite song. And Opinions is a song that very few people know. You have to be an incredibly hardcore Fix fan to even know the song Opinions. Because it's just not popular at all. It's not really known. And I actually, when I met the band a couple days ago, I thanked each of them for performing the song the last time they were here at the Broward Center. And it was funny because if you saw the Fix at the Broward Center, when they played Opinions, there was a moment where Cy did not sing a couple of words purposely. And then I guess he wanted to see if the crowd would fill it in. There were 2 idiots that filled it in. Okay? Guess who the 2 idiots were? Yes. So we were the only ones singing this because I figured that. You got to be a really hardcore Fix fan. You know what I mean? And not for nothing, but Brian, you probably don't know Opinions. And so it's just one of those deals where he said it. Yeah, I figured that. It's just it's one of those. Yeah, I'm a hardcore Fix fan. I have all their albums. I know all their songs. From even like the newest one with Lonely as a Lighthouse and all that stuff. I know it all. You know what I mean? I follow everything. Ink, you name it.
from Calm Animals, everything, and obviously all the other stuff, Reach the Beach and the original stuff that everybody knows. But they've been making great music for decades. And their last 4 or 5 albums, 6 albums that people don't know at all are absolutely exceptional. And so I'm a huge Fix guy. And that's my favorite song right there. Opinions. Let's see. You are a busy man. Oh, well, if you're going to work hard, you got to play hard, bro. You got to enjoy life. We're only here one time. And you don't know when you're going to check out. And so I'm 57 and I'm going to milk every day of my life that I can. And I would tell everybody else out there, enjoy yourselves, work and do the things you have to do to provide for your family and yourself, but treat yourself in life. It cannot all be about work. You have to be able to go out and enjoy yourself. And music is just one of the things that I absolutely love. You know what I mean? Can't live without it, basically. This guy knows when he's around me all the time, I'm jamming music constantly. If I'm not watching sports, then I'm watching music or listening to it, or maybe, following up on crypto. That's the other thing that I do. I saw that Brooklyn Robbie goes, instead of betting talk, I'd rather you talk crypto. Yeah. The last 2 times you guys have been in walk-ons, I had a stomach virus and then my accident at work. My luck this Sunday is my wife's B-day, and I'll miss out again. Damn it. Well, we got one more next month. Yeah, New Year's Eve. That's right. But it's a day game, right? It's a 1:00 game, so you don't do anything till late at night, so it's not a big deal. So come on out, True Fin fan. Join us for the last game there. Vamos Colombia. We got a big game tonight versus Brazil. Ah, yes, Secret Separation. They played it. Yep. My wife loves that song. Passengers in time, locked in motion, locked forever. Yes. If you had to choose watching Greta Van Fleet live or going to a Dolphins AFC Championship game. Oh, God, the AFC Championship game. I've seen Greta Van Fleet like 10 times already. I've seen Greta twice at Red Rocks. Or Greta in the Sphere. No, but I'm still going to the AFC Championship game. Yeah, that would be more tempting. Greta in the Sphere would be, he had to use that. That would have been more tempting, but no, dude, my Dolphins in an AFC Championship game, I'm not missing that. Are you kidding me? That doesn't happen, bro. Yeah, right, and we have to work. Exactly. Yes. That's one job I look forward to. I pray that he and I are in Vegas in February for the Super Bowl. I don't want to cancel like I did last year. I hope I don't have to cancel. I hope I have to find a way to get all the money we need in order to finish it off and get it all done. That's what I hope so. That's what I hope. So that's what I want. So yeah, that would not even be a decision. You know what I mean? Now, if you told me you're bringing back Bonham from the dead and you're going to give me Led Zeppelin for one night somewhere at Red Rocks and a young Robert Plant and a young Jimmy Page and all that, or the AFC Championship game. Now you're really pulling at me there. You know what I mean? Now we're playing the fantasy game there, because it's not realistic. But yeah.
I want to ask you, did you see the videos of there's this one traveler I saw today, and he goes to Vegas every so often just to does videos of everything going on there. They have any bridge that you walk on that is looking at the F1 is blocked, is tinted to where you can't see that way, and it blocks out the whole view of the Vegas Strip.
That's awesome.
And he's like, anybody that's coming here now just to see Vegas and not the F1 is gonna hate it.
Right.
Like it just everything's blocked up. They've got, it looks like You know, when we're in New York and you're walking underneath all the construction on the things.
Oh yeah.
That's how everything's walking around out there right now.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Well, it'll be gone for me in a couple of weeks, so I don't have to worry about it. Because I'll be there. I'll be in Vegas next month for U2 at the Sphere.
And
the 8th and the 9th.
They blocked the Bellagio fountain. That's the F1 pit lane.
Oh.
So you can't even see the fountain.
Wow. Bad week to go to Vegas, in other words. Unless you're an F1 person. And then you're there for that. Let's see if there's any concert you would pass the Dolphins for in the no, there's no concert right now. No, it would have to be some fantasy bullshit like you're bringing the Beatles back or something. You know what I mean? You know, it would have to be like, hey, you get to see Jimi Hendrix. Yeah, I'm going to see Jimi Hendrix because I can only do that once, right? I can never see that again. The Greta one that you asked me was so easy because I've seen him 10 times already. You know, there's no band I'm going to see over the Dolphins in an AFC championship game. It's just not there. Doesn't exist. You would have to get fantasy on me and you would have to create a lie, something that doesn't exist. You know, you're bringing John Bonham back. And so you're going to bring Led Zeppelin back and you're going to get them young. You're going to get Jimi Hendrix. Okay. You're bringing Freddie Mercury back so you can see Queen. Oh, hell yeah. Maybe the Dolphins, I can watch the game on DVR, and if they win, I'll be at the Super Bowl. That's it. It's fine. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I have to do it from the concert, the pre- and post-game. Yeah. Exactly. Big O, I would go crazy for a Super Bowl. I put money on the Fins to win 1,000 if they win Paul in Connecticut. Let's hope so. I go to Vegas for them strippers, so it won't affect me. No, you're right. If you're going for degenerate purposes, purely gambling and brothels, then yeah, you're not going to care about what's going on the strip because you're not really there for that. So yeah. Jay says, saw Led Zeppelin in 75 on the physical graffiti tour on the Nassau Coliseum and at Madison Square Garden. You bastard. You bastard. I am so jealous. So jealous, Jay. That's so awesome. Absolutely awesome.
And yes, true Fins fan, I was talking about the scaffolds.
Yes, he was. Let's talk a little bit about Top Gun, folks, because unfortunately, you know, listen, man, whether you believe in it or not, and I understand that we all have, an opinion on it, but we do have the right to bear arms, and, we got to look out for each other. And one of the things I love about Top Gun Indoor Range, not only do I love the family atmosphere, because that's what it is, the customer service is awesome. Been there many times myself. They've got the latest in air quality. They've got an awesome targeting system. It's not like a little target that's floating around. No, these things are, man, when you set that thing back, okay, it is actually held down the right way and it isn't moving the corners aren't flapping over because it's just held by some cheesy ass clothespin or something. No, this is professionally done. So you can go check it out for yourself at Top Gun. And I say this because they've also got archery, by the way. They've got the only indoor public archery range in Dade County. They've got mini leagues, mini tournaments on weekends. The gun range has 18 lanes up to 25 yards, longest distance of indoor ranges in Dade County. And this is really important. They've got self-defense classes for women. Okay, basic pistol, concealed weapons courses, also available in Spanish. So English and Spanish. They've got tactical nights out there, competitions. We are going to hold one here on our show there at Top Gun Indoor Range. So make sure you stay tuned to that. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have giveaways, all kinds of stuff. And again, they've got memberships. And the bigger the membership, the higher the discounts, from gun cleaning all the way up to unlimited shooting. So reach out to all the great people out there at Top Gun Indoor Range. Tell them that Big O sent you. Glock 6-hour Smith & Wesson, easy to get to right off the turnpike. 305-306-7333
for Top Gun indoor range. All right, let's talk a little NFL and Miami Dolphins. Hour number 2 is next. Matt Verderam from Sports Illustrated joins us.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Slomin Shield Home Security System guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Slomin Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Slomin Shield.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
There we are, ready to go. How you feeling, my brother? You feeling good?
I am feeling good. I'm getting a new roof put on the house, as you know. So I told you, and it's like a multiple day process, and it is a process. I'm not necessarily complaining because we basically got it for nothing because hail damage, which I didn't even know we had. So I'm not complaining, but it has been, when you think it's over, it's not. But other than that, it's fine. Whatever, it'll get done. But yeah, I could do without hearing people walk on the roof all day long.
Are you getting a metal roof?
No, okay. Just a regular shingles, but there's 2 layers on there. There were 2 layers on there. So now I think I got to get those off. Then they got to take those magnets and go all over the yard because there's about 3,000 nails down there. And so it's just multifaceted process. And then they do the gutters at different time and the downspouts at different times. So it's like, it's just if you go barefoot and run around the house in circles, you'll pick up the nails too at the same time. I would. That is true.
That would, work. It'd be a little painful,
yeah,
but it would work actually. So,
it would get the job done.
Would get the job done. You might lose a little blood in the process, but then again, maybe they'll paint the walls red with you. That's it. That's what they can do there. I don't know. I'm just wondering. So, because we're trying to do the roof switch also now. So I'm working on that too. Maybe get a metal roof. That's what I'm working on down here. So I don't know if the metal roof is a thing over there in you're in the Chicago suburbs, right?
Yeah, some people have them. I knew a bunch of friends growing up in New York who had them. We just we're getting the shingles, just a regular, whatever they are, 50-year shingles, and it's fine. I mean, it'll look nice, but look, we're very thankful in the sense. I guess we had hail damage, but it didn't do any actual damage. And so the insurance company went up there and they're like, yeah, that's fine. Just redo it. I was like, what? That saves me a lot of money I was expecting to spend the next few years. So I'm not complaining. Yeah. But it has been a process. And I'm sure when I'm walking around my yard next week, I'm sure I'm going to find a few of those nails. Hopefully, just not right through my toe. That's the goal.
Yeah. Matt, you need to look for those nails after they're gone. Had our roof done last year, and I'm still finding nails.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. I'm sure I'm gonna mow a few up. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Listen, every day that Deshaun Watson contract just gets better for the Cleveland Browns, bro. I mean, every day becomes a bigger bargain that they made that deal. Holy moly, man. Can it be a bigger disaster? Jesus.
That contract, first of all, before you get into the contract, that's getting to the trade. Okay. And let us never forget that after a Texas grand jury decided not to bring criminal charges, 4 teams went full tilt after Deshaun Watson, and the Browns were the lucky winners. The Browns got the right to give up their entire future and a huge $230 million fully guaranteed contract. And now he's not only been terrible for the 2 years that he's played, he's either been suspended or hurt. So this has been, to say it's been a failure to this point would be kind. It has been an unmitigated disaster at this point for Cleveland.
And by the way, if you watch it, brother, he can't hit the side of a barn downfield. Like, he has lost all his mojo, because that's actually what made Watson the mojo he had. He was as clutch as it could get in big moments, and he would make the key throw in those big moments. And you watch him now, dude, and he is nowhere close on accuracy downfield. I mean, he almost makes Lamar Jackson look accurate downfield, and Lamar Jackson isn't accurate downfield.
It's been a disaster for Cleveland for a lot of reasons. But yeah, when you watch Deshaun Watson at one point in that Baltimore game, now to his credit, he finished 14-14 and they came back and they won and fine. He was 7 of 21 with a pick six. I mean, it was atrocious. Yeah. And this is not the first time. There's a lot of games with him where he'll start out 6 of 20, 8 of 20. And you're like, man, I mean, this is brutal stuff. And they've got some decent weapons, even without Chubb. I mean, they've got Amari Cooper. They've got David Njoku, right? I mean, they've got, right now the tackles are beat up, but a good offensive line. They're a mess. I mean, that team offensively is a mess. Now, to their credit, they're 6-3 because the defense has played well and what
running game.
Now you bring in Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and the one game he played, they scored 3 points and got beat by 25, and he threw 3 interceptions. And now, if they decide to go away from DTR, they've got PJ Walker, who currently is completing 49% of his passes for 1 touchdown and 5 interceptions. It's not great. If you're not feeling ultra confident here, if you're Cleveland, I'll tell you the real winner in all this is Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh plays them this weekend. And for all the issues the Steelers have, they're going to beat Cleveland this weekend. Dorian Thompson-Robinson is not beating the Steelers. So the Steelers now, hey, man, they got the Browns. They got the Cardinals and Patriots at home back-to-back weeks in December. They're going to get to 10 wins. They're going to make the playoffs. Now, they're going to be cannon fodder. Somebody's going to beat them by 50 points in the playoffs. But they're going to get there. The question is, can Cleveland still do it? I am doubtful on that. But, yeah, it is. This season is falling apart due to a litany of injuries, now the latest one being Watson.
And listen, it's not the Steelers' fault, because as a Dolphins fan, I've witnessed it myself. All these teams that get in on the back end of the playoffs, Dolphins have been one of those in the past. These teams don't really deserve to be in the playoffs. We have in the NFL, we really have way too many teams in the playoffs. The 6 and 7 seeds, I could argue, year in and year out, those teams pretty much have no shot to really get there. I know that we've had examples in years past where the wild card has gone all the way, but that's just a rare thing now. And to be a 7th or a 6th seed wild card, they're just really bad teams at this point to get into the playoffs. Those teams just stand no chance.
No, Pittsburgh's going to get smoked in the first round of the playoffs. I don't care who they play. Jacksonville, Miami, Baltimore, whatever. It doesn't matter. They're losing. I mean, Baltimore would probably be the matchup they'd want just because they're so familiar with them. You know, it's divisional games. You do one of those games where it's just ugly and you drag them into the mud and you hope that you can get it done. But yeah, look, this is I got to tell you though, as bad as that is. I mean, do you know what the NFC is going to be like? Josh Dobbs is a great story. You know what that's going to be like when they go to San Francisco, the wild card round. Yeah. It reminds me of when I was a kid in the '90s, and you'd get like the Steve Walsh, great Miami player, the Steve Walsh Bears,
right?
And they'd go to Dallas. And you're like, oh my God. And it was just over. Like the turning point of those games was the anthem, right? Like the second the game started, Dallas would come out and just run a lead draw like 5 times in a row. And bam, it's a 7-0 lead. There you go. Game's over. Because they're not going to score. That's what it reminds me of. Like when a kid, you'd watch, the Niners draw like the Bobby Hoying Eagles. You're like, oh, this is like the line could be 30 and I take the Niners. Like that's where we are with some of these games.
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right, so the Bills issues. You've got so instead of Stephon Diggs doing his dirty work, he's got Trayvon now sending all the tweets and the whole thing that 14 better get out of there, and then that the other guy didn't start having Pro Bowl years or whatever success until Big Bro got there. Although Diggs never made a Pro Bowl until he got to Buffalo also. So, it is what it is. It goes both ways. But it just doesn't look like he is playing with confidence. They fire Ken Dorsey, and now you've got the Stephon Diggs situation, which he's as volatile as crypto sometimes. So you tell me, what the hell is going on in Buffalo, and has that window closed already?
Well, before we get to Buffalo, Robbie Chosen was just waived by the Dolphins. So just heads up there. Maybe just that. I see that Joe Shad and Tom Pelissero. As for the Bills, that loss on Monday night, that was one of the more inexcusable losses you'll ever see. I mean, you're at home in prime time, playing a team that I don't care what a lot of people in my world, the national media, say, Denver stinks. Like Denver was atrocious in that game and won the game because you turned the ball over 4 times. And oh, by the way, you can't count. So you end up with a 12 men on the field call that essentially gives them the game. With Diggs in particular, I don't know where you go with this. Like, what would concern me is, okay, so Trayvon Diggs is telling tales out of school here, okay? Nobody denied it. Like, nobody came out. Like, it wasn't like you heard Stephon Diggs 20 minutes later, like, that's ridiculous. He needs to shut his mouth. He's wrong. Right. Nobody said anything. And then after the game, like, Gabe Davis won't talk. He's a captain. Von Miller didn't talk. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. James Cook didn't talk. Like, Allen had to talk, barely said a word. I mean, and then they fired the offensive coordinator. And I'm sitting there after the game thinking to myself, like, that's the guy, like, he's the problem? Like, he's not the one who's leading the league in picks every year. He's not the one fumbling the ball away. He's not the one who can't count to 11. Okay, like, he's not been perfect this year by any means. But, my God, you want to talk about a fall guy. He was the fall guy after that game. And so, I will tell you this, I don't think the Bills are making the playoffs. I don't. I know some people think to turn this around. They got the Jets this week, and I do think they'll beat the Jets. Then they go to Philly and Kansas City. Good night. Like, that's the end right there. Because I'll tell you right now, against Philly, they're going to get bullied all over the field. And against Kansas City, the Chiefs are going to do whatever they have to do to take Diggs out of the game. Who's beating them? Where are they getting beat anywhere else? I mean, if they could shut down Miami's offense, they're going to shut down Buffalo's offense. Yeah. And if the Chiefs score 20 points, you're going to win. So, yeah, I think, look, if you're Buffalo, you have 5 conference losses. Like, you're going to lose every tiebreaker you have. You need to go 11-6. They're not going 11-6. So I think, I do think this season's done for them, and I think they're going to have a lot of hard questions to ask themselves when it comes to the offseason.
Did the Dolphins turn the corner versus Kansas City? Because of it's not so much the loss, because it was actually a close loss. There are only a couple of plays to be made in that game, and really, the receiver kind of screwed up the entire game. Tyreek in that one. But the fact that they shut down the best player in football for the entire half, I think people are not talking enough about how maybe Miami now will turn a corner, because now with Jalen Ramsey, that becomes a completely different defense and a completely different secondary. Holland also was missing for a week, and he came back from an injury. I kind of think that this, while it was a loss, I think it was a turning point for the Miami Dolphins.
It could be. It's hard with games like that because on one hand, I don't disagree with you. Like they played well defensively, and I do believe they will get better and better as the year goes on defensively because they're getting guys back, and Fangio's scheme will take hold, and I think that's all coming.
They still have to prove offensively if they're as tough as maybe their defense can be.
And that's actually where I was going to go with this. Is I don't know because I can't say that offensively, like not that they needed to turn offensive corner, but they did against good teams. And in that game, they had one good drive that entire game. I mean, they got the ball handed to them at the 20 something and they scored, and fair enough. But like they had one drive down the field. My concern in Miami remains when you play a physical football team, how do you answer that? Because they've played 3 of them this year and they're all in 3. Now, the flip side of that is I do think the defense is going to be better and better. And so you're not going to have to score as many points. And so maybe instead of having to score 30, maybe you got to score 24. And in the NFL, it's a big difference.
Right.
I think the big thing for the Dolphins right now is the way the schedule sets up. You got 5 games in a row. You ought to win.
Oh, God, yeah. They've got this. It's a bye week for 5 weeks.
And it should be, look, you got to handle your business. Like
yes.
That's the thing right now for Miami. Don't give Buffalo a way to get back in the division. Don't even if you don't get the 1 seed, handle your business the next 5 weeks. Win those games. And then in those last 3 weeks, win 1 or 2 of those games. Show that, hey, you know what? We can beat Dallas. We can beat Baltimore. Okay. We can beat Buffalo if that game means anything in week 18. That's what I want to see out of Miami. But yeah, I think it could be. Look, if nothing else, that game could have gotten real ugly after halftime. That could have been one of those games. It was just 35-3. And you're like, all right. It wasn't. To Miami's credit, they didn't give up. They made it a game. They didn't come all the way back, but they fought hard. I think at least you can walk out of that with some positives rather than just walk away from it going, oh, my God.
The difference in that game was Tyreek's fumble. That's it. Both teams scored 14 points.
Right.
That's it. The difference was the one mistake that Tyreek made. And the second, two, because Tua threw a beautiful bomb to him. That would have been points, and he dropped it right in his hands. And you were already in KC territory there. You would have gotten points out of that drive. So basically, he left 2 scoring drives there. One that he gave to KC and one that he took away from his team, in that one. So the Dolphins kind of pretty much matched what KC could do there on that day. And that's pretty cool, dude. I thought that was impressive because we had not seen the defense play that way. And to play against Mahomes that way, shit, dude. Wow, that's impressive.
They did a great job. They held Kelsey to 14 yards, and they were able, in the second half specifically, to really just shut him down. Look, it's going to be interesting because the AFC, the way it's shaking out right now, I mean, I don't think you're going to have Buffalo in the playoffs. And you'll look around the conference, who's the team? Look, Kansas City right now until proven otherwise.
KC, Cincy, and
right.
And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, because Kansas City until proven otherwise, that's the team that if you got to go to Arrowhead in the 3rd week of January, that's the team you'll look at and go, that's no fun. Okay.
All roads go through KC. Yeah.
But everybody else in the conference right now, you look at them and go, either they're good but beatable, or they're not even that good and they're going to make the playoffs. I mean, it's Jacksonville's one of those teams. It's like, what day do you get them on? Baltimore, same kind of a thing. Like
I don't believe in the quarterback. So
I tend to agree with you. I don't believe in them as a playoff team either. But I mean, they're one of those teams that you get them on the wrong day and they're really humming, they can be a problem. And if you catch them on a day where they're kind of out of sync, you can beat them up pretty good.
Yeah. Just take a lead on those guys, and you're all right.
Yes, because then you force them to play totally differently.
Right.
I agree with you. Look, the big wild card in the AFC is the Bengals, because that team, when they're right, they're as good as anybody in football. I mean, they can just absolutely put it on you. But as we saw,
and they're the one team that gives KC,
no question.
We know KC is the beast of the AFC.
Yep.
Everything goes through KC. the one team right now that you can say, and it's not the Dolphins, it's Cincinnati, the one that can get after them. That's why I kind of put the Dolphins in third place right now in the AFC. First KC, then Cincinnati, then Miami, until Miami can prove otherwise. But right now, KC's the dog, bro. They're the king of the mountain right now.
Well, yeah, I would agree. I mean, look, I think the one thing with the Bengals is the Bengals know they can beat Kansas City.
Right.
And, we saw last year in the AFC Championship game. I mean, look, in this day and age, there's not a lot of hatred between professional teams. Those teams hate each other. Like, I can tell you from talking to people in both buildings, there is a genuine, like, we do everything to beat that team at all costs type of thing. I mean, it matters. That Burrowhead thing last year really, really pissed off Kansas City. So but that's what makes sports great. But the Bengals don't have a fear of them. Where I think some teams go to Arrowhead, especially late in the year, and I think they're almost halfway beaten when they get off the bus. It's like, all right, we're not going to win this game. The Bengals don't look at it like that. And I will say for Miami, even though they lost to them, if they see them in the playoffs, it will help Miami that they've already played. There is a confidence, like, okay, we saw them. This is now. Look, doesn't mean you're going to beat them. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But at least there's not that almost like, I don't know if I want to say fear factor, but almost that factor of like getting over it's Mahomes and it's Kelsey and they've played them. They've played them now. So and of course having Tyreek helps in the sense he knows them as well as anybody. So look, Miami's definitely a dangerous team in the AFC, and it's a conference that looks a lot different than we thought it would back in August.
Gary Myers put out there that he thinks the Chargers are the team that now has the inside lane at getting Bill Belichick. Last question, two-part question. Why? And do you believe any of this? Because to me, I don't understand why anyone in the NFL, any ownership group is saying to themselves, oh, he's going to be out of it. Oh, I can't wait to get my hands on him. I don't understand this. Walk me through this, please.
So if I'm the Chargers, I'd hire him in a heartbeat because I'm the Chargers, and I'll take all the credibility I can get after watching Brendan Staley give up an average of 1,700 yards every game. I mean, I'm all for that. I think Belichick can coach. I don't think Belichick should ever be in charge of a personnel department
But
again.
that's not, that's not going to happen. He's going to want personnel control.
Well, and if they do,
and if not, he's going to want his own puppet running it.
Well, you know what? And if they do that, they're going to get what they deserve. They're going to get a team that's well coached, but that is diminishing in the roster category. But here's my thing, and this is true. They're going to pay him. They're going to pay him. You're telling me that franchise who never hires a coach,
That's a great point.
You're going to pay Belichick?
Spanos does not pay. That's right.
Think about the coaches they've had in the last handful of years. Staley, first-time head coach, don't have to pay him a ton. Mike McCoy, don't have to pay him a ton. Anthony Lynn, didn't have to pay him a ton. Norv Turner, the last coach they paid anything to was Marty Schottenheimer, and they fired him after he won 14-2. So you're telling me they're going to bring in Belichick, who's going to be the highest paid coach in the NFL. They're bringing in Belichick and paying him. I will tell you my personal belief is I think if he coaches anywhere next year, I would watch Washington.
Yeah, that's the other one. Yeah.
That owner will pay. Okay, I'm a Devils fan in hockey, as a lot of you guys know, and he owns the Devils. He will pay. He does not care. They will pay the money. They're trying to rebuild that, not only that team, but the brand. Right. You get immediate credibility with Belichick. And Belichick's from there. Belichick's from Annapolis, essentially. So, to me, if there's any team that I'm looking at, it's Washington. The Chargers, call me when they pay anybody. He's not going there for free. He's not working pro bono with the Chargers.
It's a great point. It's a great point.
I just – nothing against Gary, but I have serious reservations that they're going to be paying him.
Yeah, no, that makes that really is the killer point of that all, because Spanos, he would have to spend a lot of money because then Belichick's also going to want to pay his assistants and all that, and
all his guys.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. He can't build a staff. That's I don't want
Daniels is open. He's available.
Yeah, I don't want his staff, bro. I mean, that's just kind of look what's going on. That
weird. Would be the trilogy actually for Josh McDaniels. That would be the third AFC West team he's been a part of. The Chiefs are all that's left.
And I know he was big in the AFL. Like he loved it as a young man.
Huge, yes.
Yeah, so the Chargers are from the AFL, so that I can see that connection. But obviously the Washington one is the one that originally everybody was talking about, and now they brought up, the Chargers. Just to me, I would just let it go if I'm in the NFL. I'm looking for the new style. I'm looking for innovative people, something new. I'm not trying to take a page from the old, bro. I need the game has changed.
Lastly,
and he hasn't evolved with the game, dude.
I would also say that, like, he's still under contract through next year.
Yeah.
There's a world where they trade him. Like, there is a world where he goes, well, I'm going to leave and go coach the Chargers or the Commanders. And Kraft goes, yeah, that's nice. We're going to trade you. Like, we'll send you to wherever you want to go. We're going to trade you.
Right.
And that adds a whole nother layer to this. Like, who's giving up picks? I mean, you're not getting a third rounder for Belichick. Like, you're not, there's
going to be at least a first rounder to start the conversation.
You're getting more than you gave up for Sean Payton. Okay. Like, you're giving up something decent. And think about this. How did he get to New England? The Jets traded him there.
Yeah.
So wouldn't that be full circle almost 25 years later? But yeah, I'm sure we're not done with this story. That's for sure.
Follow him on Twitter at Matt Verderam. Matt, as always, appreciate you, my brother. Hope the roofing goes smooth. We'll catch up next week.
So do I. Take care.
You got it. There you go. The great Matt Verderam. We love him, man. Always getting it done. Who also gets it done? The folks at Baptist Health. And Baptist Health is the official sports medicine provider for the Miami Heat, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, FIU, FAU, Orange Bowl, Miami-Dade County Public Schools, Miami Open Tennis, Miami Marathon, and half marathons, baby. BaptistHealth.net/ortho. Use that QR code right there. All right. Big O, did you see we literally had a hurricane yesterday that kicked ass? Unlike the ones we see on Saturdays. LOL. Yeah. It looked kind of hurricane-ish. It had some swirl to it. It was like if you were out in the open ocean, you might have developed into it. In other words, that's what it looked like. Yeah. Yeah, it did. Speaking of SI, our Dolphins are on the cover this month. Okay. Robbie Chosen waved. Well, remember, Craycraft is coming back. And I just, the Robbie Chosen thing for me is just, I never understood the hype that some of our media members put to it. It reminded me so much of the Albert Wilson stuff. Like, yeah, he's a guy, bro. Let's not make it out more than what it really is. Yes, sir.
Allen put out afterwards too that they're looking to get him back to the practice squad.
Of course,
that's the timing of it now, because now he'll be back to the practice squad in time for the Vegas game in case.
Okay.
Something, I guess, as a backup or he's on the practice squad there.
Right, exactly. They'll stash him again in the practice squad, and he's not a football player. I told you guys this over and over again. And if you're not going to be the one or two, and you could get away with not being a real football player as a one or two because you're just a nasty receiver and you get the yards and the scoring and all that. But once you start becoming the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, you got to become a better football player because you need to bring more to the table. And that's kind of what I've been telling you guys the entire time with Robbie. Not a football player. Very, very, very limited as a wide receiver. So what are you going to do? We await David Furones. He should be joining us any minute now. Saw The Fix 3 times live. Can't get enough. What a great band. So many great songs. Hard to choose a favorite. I'm with you, Dave. And they sound impeccable. The fact that it's the same band for 40 years, it's impressive. Yes, sir.
My ex kind of blew up on Clarissa Thompson. Did you see what happened with her?
Clarissa Thompson, what happened with her? What'd she do?
She went on a podcast, and she's the sideline reporter, I think, for Fox, I believe, or one of them.
Yeah, I know who she is, right?
So somehow it came out, and she said, sometimes I make up the report coming back in because the coach doesn't come out to talk to me, so I can't think. So she makes things up. Now it's just like, boop. It's just a big.
That's not the right thing to say.
No, doesn't seem like that was a smart thing to say, especially if you're on a national broadcast. But
can I defend her?
Well, I think if you don't have anything to say and you got to have a report.
I think she meant
I don't think she literally makes up and lies to you. What she was saying is that when the coach doesn't come out, she has to kind of ad lib her opinions on what's going on and what should happen, what could happen, and that's what she ends up creating an analysis of it. Okay, because I don't think she's literally lying to you. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I think she didn't phrase it the right way at that moment, and she might have been cornered at that moment. And she's kind of like loosely saying, "Oh, and I don't get to talk to coach. So I got to just kind of make something up." And it's not really make something up. What she means by it is that she has to ad lib something at that moment as she analyzes what went on because she didn't see the coach. So she figures, well, the running back's injured. Well, then they'll probably use this other guy, right? So, hey, in the first half, this guy got in. I would imagine they're going to try to lean on this guy now, and you come up with something.
I finally found the report, and it says she said a coach wouldn't come out at halftime or it was too late. And I was like, I didn't want to screw the report up. So I was like, I'm just going to make this up because first of all, no coach is going to get mad if I say, hey, we need to stop hurting ourselves.
Right.
Be better on third down. We need to stop turning the ball over.
Right.
Pressure the quarterback.
Right.
So she just threw
quick
those little things. Yeah,
little analysis
type thing
that she would have gotten from the
coach probably anyways.
The obvious things, hey, they've sacked our guy too much. We got to do a better job of protecting him in here in the second half. Yada yada yada. Boom boom boom. Whatever. That's Krista Thompson's a legit person. She's just not going to be making shit up. So I kind of understand her being in the business. I kind of understand where she was going with that. All right, where are we going? Is the man, the myth, the legend, David Furones there? Yeah, baby. He is a legend. I mean, what he did in that bachelor party in Las Vegas was legendary. David Furones is next.
All rise, football fans, as the Welton Rayon Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welton Rayon has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
Okay, now we got it, and there he is. All right, David. Listen, I see you already started this report on a bad note. I was told you were going to have cornrows. That's what I was told.
My hair's not long enough for that.
I was told that David is going to be sporting cornrows for this, and unfortunately, look at that.
And you also started with that intro. I'm going to need to get Welton Rayon on your ass. What did I do at my bachelor party, which was in New Orleans, by the way, not Las Vegas?
We have the pictures. I mean, what can I tell you? We have the video. We have the videos of you guys going, you might have had a few too many hurricanes, looks like it there. And
I had one of those.
Yes, you did. I'm sure you were at O'Brien's and having a hurricane, of course.
Is that where I was? Because I couldn't remember. It was just I couldn't remember what it was called. I mean, but
I've done it, bro. I've been in New Orleans where I had a grenade when I was walking up one street, and then all of a sudden a hurricane on the way back. And a cigar, and boy, I am just.
And you're good.
And I am as Ozzy Osbourne would say, flying high again. Yeah. So basically, if you guys ever want to really feel really good, drink a hurricane and then drink a grenade, because that's really what you want to do. Mix a couple of drinks, and by the way, have a Maduro cigar. Okay, a nice Perdomo. Maduro, and that'll really get you going, dude. You'll be buzzed. By the end of the night, you'll go where I go all the time. At the end, towards the end of the street on the right side, that burger joint that they cook burgers there, that they have like hubcaps that they use to cover the burger and stuff. You ever been there?
I don't think I made my way over there. But I'll have to take note.
Man, they do a good job with their burgers, bro. I forgot the name of the place. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? When you go on Bourbon Street, you walk down, and I want to say about 8 blocks down, right? And then on the right side,
I want to say, why do I want to say that I see it like a 4-leaf clover or something? But anyways, there's that burger. It's called the Clover Grill. Is that it? Clover Grill. Yeah. Clover Grill. I think that's it. And you got to try it, David, the next time you go, because that's where I straighten my life out.
Yeah, you straighten your life out.
Yeah. When you're in New Orleans, you kind of get crooked. You're having a little too much fun. So you walk in there to the burger place like this, and then you walk out, and you're straight again. You're good. So I straighten out my life in that place. I think it is Clover something. It might be. Somebody will remember.
Quality burgers. I did just about everything else, including the beignets. Had plenty of those.
Yeah, you got to have those.
Cafe Du Monde, is that right?
Yes, Cafe Du Monde. Yeah. You wake up in the morning and the fresh smell of urine, throw up, and Clorox, all mixed up along the streets of New Orleans.
Of New Orleans.
Yeah, the streets of New Orleans. That's it. The Clover Grill. I can tell by the sign. It's called the Clover Grill. That's it. The old ass Coca-Cola sign. Yeah, that's it. That's where I go to kind of straighten it out. You should have a burger there the next time you go. All right, let's talk a little Dolphins now. Braxton Berrios looks like he's going to play.
Well, he was back at practice at least, and you know what? If we just saw that Robbie Chosen was waived minutes ago, so he was already sort of end of the roster. He was practice squad to start the season, and then with other guys getting injured and being on injured reserve, got a spot. River Craycraft for one, that was kind of the spot that opened up, so that then Robbie Chosen could get onto the active roster, and now he's waived as Craycraft comes back. Actually happens a day later, or 2 days later, since getting Craycraft back. So, but yeah, they were having 7 receivers before that. But Braxton Berrios, he was already active the game before. Maybe it's just sort of a maintenance thing that he didn't go on Wednesday, and then now Thursday he's back at practice. So that's a positive sign.
Yeah, one of the things that I was explaining, and one of the reasons why I wasn't that big on Robbie Chosen, like some guys were in the media, and I talked about this, is he's not really a good football player. He's more of a one-dimensional wide receiver. He's not even a multi-dimensional wide receiver, whereas other guys can do other things. So if you're not the number 1 or number 2 on a team, if you're a 1 or 2, you can be strictly a wide receiver and dominate in whatever you do, and that's fine. But once you become the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, you have to become a better football player. You have to add other things to the table. And that's my problem with Robbie. See, the guy that's coming back in Craycraft, brother, he can burn you in so many different ways. He'll get behind the defense. He'll work underneath. He'll block. He'll do all kinds of things. And that's where, I just never saw it in Robbie. Not a guy that could catch it in traffic. Not a guy that has great body control. He's just a speed guy. That's it. That's what he can do. But he's not really going to get underneath stuff and start breaking tackles. That's not who he is. He's not really a blocker. Right. That was kind of exposed at times when he had to block. He wasn't the best blocker. So, to me, that was his problem. And I don't know if he understands that part. But if you're going to be a lower level receiver on a roster in the NFL, you must become a better football player in the process. And to me, that's what's always hurt Robbie Chosen.
Yeah, certainly concerns with having sound technique, his fundamentals, blocking. Didn't give you much of that. One thing, he did have the speed. Mike McDaniel's a big fan of that. So, and also he's tall, lanky. So, maybe he's not thought of as a possession receiver, but a guy who can sort of reach and get you some balls, which the receiving core doesn't have a lot of height on it. So that was something different that he had. He possessed his body, his physical traits. So all those things, the physical traits, just how tall, long he is, and also the speed were there, but just sort of piecing it together. And he just hasn't put it all together in a few years now. And you see it with his time ending in Carolina, very short cup of coffee that he had with the Cardinals. He didn't make the Dolphins' initial 53, put on practice squad, a spot opens up, And then he's been inactive, a healthy inactive, for the last 3 games too, so it wasn't really cracking any rotation. So now at this point, with Claypool in here, with Berrios healthy and managing an injury, River Craycraft back, then he was a natural choice to be let go.
Let me tell you where I find this to be an enormous positive, and this is the way I think Dolphin fans should look at this. I don't know how you want to look at it, but this is the way I look at it now. Now you have settled your third wide receiver. Now River comes back, and he is perfect, complementary to what you have and the speed you have with the other guys. Because he's such a good football player, he can do it all for you. Run the routes, be sometimes a guinea pig, be a blocker, whatever he has to do, he can help out, right? And then everybody else settles in kind of specialist roles, whether it's Berrios, whether it's Claypool, all these other guys can now kind of run. Cedric Wilson can run complementary roles to what maybe settles in as your top 3 with Craycraft, because he knows the system so well. Also, on top of all of that, I think he just becomes a real positive and a real calming addition for Tua.
Yeah, and I would say it's still close with a lot of those guys for that third receiver. Maybe some matchups you just end up with one of the other guys.
That's my point.
Him. Yeah, so I wouldn't know if River Craycraft would be settled in as he will be number 3 over the other guys, but certainly some of the things Berrios can do. Claypool, if he just gets further incorporated, and even Cedric Wilson, you've seen him get more run recently. He was a big part of that Kansas City game, especially with Jalen Waddle a little dinged up. And
but the difference is Craycraft reads the hot read and catches the ball where he's supposed to, instead of Cedric taking off. You now have a calming force now there at the number 3 spot, because he knows the offense so well. And the one thing we have watched for a year and a half, he has chemistry with Tua. He has good chemistry with Tua. That's why I think it kind of settles in where it's not that he'll be the dominant force, but he probably will get more snaps than everybody else by a little bit. But the other guys will be used in specialist ways, like for certain situations. And I think that's where it kind of settles in a little bit more. That's just me.
He does have that chemistry with Tua, and it gives him an edge. Certainly his knowledge of the offense, going back with McDaniel and Wes Welker to time in San Francisco together.
Yep. Hunt doesn't look like this week, right?
No. Yeah, after now missing the last 2 practices, and even when Mike McDaniel was calling it week to week instead of day to day, then that's probably a telltale sign. He doesn't give you too much on injury fronts as far as just looking beyond the given day, but when he starts saying week to week, then you figure it's probably not within that first week. Hunt, it's probably going to be actually Liam Eichenberg told us, and we had seen before, but we kind of can't report it until it's sort of just said outwardly. But Liam Eichenberg has been working at right guard now, whereas he entered at left guard late in the game against Kansas City. Lester Cotton was at right guard then. So now it's looking like Liam Eichenberg, who says he's more comfortable on the right side, he's going to be working there, as Rob Hunt and Rob Jones are still dealing with their injuries and not practicing. So we're looking at from left to right, Armstead, Cotton, Williams, Eichenberg, Jackson line from left to right.
I thought it was interesting with Butch Barry's conversation today with you guys. And we look at it sometimes as a negative when guys are being moved around because they don't get to settle in. And Butch talked about how, it's good to settle in on one spot. And you do get to improve on one spot. But he felt like that Eichenberg and others will be, Cotton or whatever, will be better players by the more multifaceted that they are as players.
Yeah, that's one thing. I mean, the cross training. So now Liam Eichenberg, who going back, I mean, he was a tackle prospect. Then rookie year, he's playing left tackle and right tackle. So he's stuck to the outside of the line, and then moved to left guard for his second season. Gets injured there, and then now he's working cross training as the backup center, ends up getting time there. Now, actually, right guard is the only position of the 5 on the line that he hasn't started at. Over now, where 2.5 years in. We're halfway through his third NFL season. And if it goes the way it's looking, then he'd be in line to start at right guard. So now crossing off all 5 in short order here as a professional. So a little bit of both. I mean, obviously, if you are just excelling so much at one position, you're going to stay there, like the way Teron Armstead is a Pro Bowl left tackle, and that's what he is. And the way they've liked to have Robert Hunt at right guard and only moved him to right tackle when a series of injuries just had a necessity to kick him out to right tackle, where you had some guys you could put in that guard in that playoff game last year. So now for Liam Eichenberg, finding his home, searching for it. Now the newest venture is right guard for him.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. I know Liam hasn't found a home yet permanently, and I'm sure he would love to do that. But they just made him some money, because eventually, if he is a free agent, because he's played center and the guard spots and even tackle, he's going to be valuable. They're going to want him. You know what I mean? And if you watched him, he actually hasn't played bad as of late. He has become a better player than what you saw the first couple of years. So the improvement is happening with Liam Eichenberg. It might be a little late, but then again, it's not his fault. He didn't have the proper coaching early on. Last year, the poor kid had to deal with all the injuries. And now this year, he's starting to make some progress. Well, I mean, you know, it's really may not all be his fault. You know what I'm saying? Now it might be the time where he starts to really turn the corner. And you just never know, dude. Liam Eichenberg might end up becoming a starter, if not here, somewhere else down the line.
Yeah, and Butch Barry has prepared the guys on this line to be those versatile type of linemen, where the cross training has benefited guys, and with so much shuffling on the line, it's been beneficial to this group to have that experience at different positions. And he also related it to he has a young son, and he wants to get him involved in different sports, because the cross training can give you some of the skills that then
I agree
different sports. So on the line, he sees it the same way as an offensive line coach. He said that now time working at center, now that gives him certain skills that he wasn't going to ever find or discover at guard, but then now going back to guard that he could use to his advantage. So I found that pretty interesting.
It's a tough question to ask. Now, you're one of the guys that would do it. I know I would do it if I was working on
Okay, not that you're going to ask me. So something to ask a player.
To ask Butch Barry.
Oh, to ask Butch Barry. Yeah. We won't get him for a while now.
I know, but my because I don't remember. I haven't seen anybody ask him this. He came in with a terrible reputation.
Right.
Things have gone really well for him. Why? What was it that didn't go well for him at the University of Miami? Didn't the thing in Denver? It didn't seem like, you know, positive things were coming out of Denver for him. And all of a sudden, I don't think anybody can say a bad thing about Butch Barry right now, especially with the production out of the offensive line and its backups. So I would be very intrigued to see how he answers that, because it was just kind of weird that the reputation has not followed the man right now.
Yeah, I think he touched on it early in his tenure, maybe during training camp.
Right, but nothing had happened then. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now,
results yet? Yeah.
It'd
be good. I'm sure we get him another time in the season, because there's still about half the year left. Assistant coaches, they're on a rotating schedule. We get the coordinators every week, but then the other assistant coaches just on a rotating schedule of 2 every week. So it kind of takes a while for one to get back in on the rotation, but we will get him before the end of the season. So especially if this narrative has continued and maintained itself all year, then that would be something to
I think it's cool for him, dude.
Yeah,
it's really cool for him because all the people that were talking shit about him and everything, and it wasn't well, and he didn't look good here, this, that. Well, that's not what's going on here. Hey, I haven't talked to my boy Greg Bedard, but he basically crapped on Isaiah Wynn, and he's like, yeah, no, Isaiah Wynn's just a guy. He'll never. These guys are going to start him. That's crazy. And Isaiah Wynn was playing his best football here. You know what I mean? And that's because, and I get Bedard's attitude, because he covers the Patriots and he covered Dante Scarnecchia. And Scarnecchia is considered like the best offensive line coach in the history of the game, practically, or one of them. And so if Scarnecchia couldn't reach him, my God, nobody on the Dolphins will. You know what I mean? And so he's kind of also dispelled some of the things that he came with from New England. So I think there's a lot of pretty cool storylines in that sense. Look at Eichenberg and Jackson, dude. Two guys that have shed a label also that were given to him, and maybe it was unfair because they didn't have the proper people around them to teach them. So I think it's actually interesting now that I think about it, all the people on the offensive line with those labels that they've had to shed.
Yeah, absolutely. And to think, Isaiah Wynn coming over from the Patriots and that system there, they couldn't get it out of him. And then here's Butch Barry on a team where it's been a revolving door of offensive line coaches, and Butch Barry himself, the narratives that have followed him from University of Miami, from the Denver Broncos, and he gets what we have seen up to the point of when Wynn was injured. Plus, like you mentioned, Liam Eichenberg, Austin Jackson especially. We still need to see a little bit more.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, how does that happen? I think that says a lot about Mike McDaniel to find Butch Barry as the hire. He knew him from some time together in San Francisco, and to believe in him even when it would have been easy to say, well, a lot of people would criticize this move. I'm going to go with my own conviction from what I know from knowing Butch Barry, and I'm going to bring him aboard, and I feel like it'll work, even if what he just put out in Denver was obviously, lack of a better word, a shit show.
Right. Yeah. So it's pretty cool to watch all these men shed these labels that were given to them, fair or unfair or whatever it is. But, we're seeing something completely different from all these men. So it's actually pretty cool. And by the way, that question can also be asked to McDaniel now.
Yeah.
As a hey, man, he had all this reputation. He didn't have a good experience at the University of Miami. And then obviously what happened in Denver, but yet you brought him anyway, and it's worked out really well, So I'm sure McDaniel can give you his side of that whole thing, because I'm intrigued because, dude, Butch was killed coming out of Denver. I mean, annihilated coming out of Denver.
Yeah.
It was
all the stories about his coaching methods, the players complaining about it,
laughing at him, all that. They were celebrating when he got fired, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. I don't think we're shocked, right, with Kohu staying at nickel instead of Needham?
No. I mean, I felt naturally he would stay there, and maybe Needham would still need some more time to really entrench himself into making it a conversation, a competition for that spot. But I like Kohu in the slot. I know he got targeted a lot against the Chiefs, but naturally, if it's Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey on the outside, then
get used to it, kid.
Right.
Get
He's
used to it.
So I mean, I like him in that spot. I mean, this is a guy that we've talked about it. That there was one week where he had to be the number one corner, and when Vic Fangio wasn't shadowing Stephon Diggs, and he had to go up against Stephon Diggs. That's valuable experience, even if it didn't go the way he wanted. I mean, to now have to just play the nickel cornerback slot, then that's I like where he's going to go. And then if he does start to struggle and Nick Needham continues to progress as he gets more reps coming off last year's Achilles, then maybe there is a competition. But definitely
In a way, I look at it like the wide receivers. You just got better and deeper because Kohu gets to settle in now at the nickel spot, and I love Needham. So now Needham's going to play the dime. So all of a sudden now I'm really liking my top four corners now, just like Craycraft. Craycraft comes in, and now I think he settles that number 3 better than anybody else that's on this team. And then it allows everybody else to kind of find other roles to kind of work around the top 3 guys. And I like that. So I kind of look at it that way. You just got better and deeper, both at corner and at wide receiver.
Certainly, yeah. Gone are the days where you are relying on Eli Apple in any form. There were the games where you had to start him, and then in the nickel package, he's the boundary corner. And those games, sometimes you're in the nickel the whole game because of what the offense does. And gone are those days. You need someone to go down to even have to delve into those packages. So it's a beautiful thing that Jalen Ramsey comes back, and yeah, Xavier Howard after missing a couple of games there. Nick Needham is there. Kader Kohu, you already had him. So that is a wonderful thing for the Dolphins and the secondary.
Make sure you follow him on Twitter at David Furones. You can catch him again joining us on our post-game show on our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins post-game show on Sunday after this game against the Raiders. What are you working on the Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out, my friend?
Yeah, this week I've been working on all these offbeat stories with Tua's hair, Tua's new cornrows, how we started this segment. And then, the regular injury updates, Devon Achane, all that, Rob Hunt, Rob Jones. Today, right now I'm going to get back to writing this Tyreek Hill got married story. He spoke all about it in the locker room. And then tomorrow I'm actually going to be focusing in on that offensive line. I thought about writing it today, but Tyreek Hill spoke, so drop everything and cover Tyreek Hill. So, yeah, maybe I do get that question to McDaniel, especially since we just had Butch Barry, and I'm saving some of the stuff that he mentioned today. So,
what do you say about the Trayvon Diggs stuff?
Trayvon Diggs, no one asked. Who is it? Tyreek, you're asking, or?
Yeah, Tyreek did he because he liked the tweet. So I'm wondering.
No.
When Trayvon said that 14's got to get up out of there, he was one of the guys that liked that tweet.
Oh, I didn't.
And
catch
so
that.
he's a fan of people that are outspoken. So I'm wondering if you guys asked him about that.
No, we did not. Yeah, I personally did not even see that he had given it a like.
Yeah. And now Trayvon then put out after yesterday. He put out that the quarterback didn't become a Pro Bowler until Big Bro got there.
Right. Yeah, I saw those two. Yeah.
Yeah. Only problem with that one is that he kind of left out that Stephon Diggs never made a Pro Bowl until he got to Buffalo. He kind of left that one out, Trayvon left out the facts.
You got to be fair.
The facts are that they both needed each other, actually. You know what I mean? Because he wasn't making Pro Bowls in Minnesota, especially, with pop gun arm Teddy Bridgewater. You're not really going to be making, I mean,
Well, like the year they went to the NFC Championship game, Case Keenum, right?
Yes.
And then Diggs made that catch at the end of the Saints game. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So, kind of left that key point out. So I was wondering if you guys asked him about liking the Diggs tweet because Trayvon isn't talking. Stephon isn't talking this time.
Trayvon's
it's his brother doing all the talking, which
yeah,
that's what it is.
So yeah, Tyreek Hill, a fan of someone being outspoken. Gee, I have no idea. Who would have thought?
Shocker. There you go. All right, my brother. Appreciate you. We will talk post-game on Sunday, my friend. Thank you, sir. You got it. There you go. Our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report with the one and only David Furones. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Please call our friends at Welt and Rayom, Jeff and Dan. They do an excellent job. And listen, maybe you had a slip and fall. Maybe you had an accident. Maybe you're dealing with some bankruptcy issues. Something. You think you have a case? Please call them at 954-966-4646. The consultation's completely free. Okay? So you're just going to call and find out and ask, do you have a case? They'll tell you, and then they can work on it and get you going like they did for us. And Progressive Insurance, boy, they got spanked by Jeff and Dan, and they got it done for us, and they can do it for you. So please call them 954-966-4646. Welt and Rayom.
This has been another session of the Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welt and Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welt and Rayom can help.
All right. Robbie Chosen got waived. Time for a Chan to be activated. And Craycraft. Craycraft is the one they're going to activate for him. Big O, yet another gem. You were right on. Robbie Chosen wasn't the big deal. Some people made it out to be. Well done, sir. We kind of we kind of broke it down. We broke down what he wasn't, and he wasn't a football player. But that's how it goes. You get some right and you get some wrong. We got that one right. Let's see. That's a McDonald's. You were just drunk, somebody says. Okay. He did have a big touchdown in the 70 burger. LOL. Without him, it's only 63. Woodson says fins up. Crema de la Clutch Exotics is in the house. Is it in the Claypool? He seems to change. That locker room is a family, bro. Oh, you mean you think Claypool's changed because he's in that locker room? We'll see. I mean, I'll give you something about Claypool that I have been somewhat impressed with. Just a little bit, because it's really a small sample size, but I can't say much. Like, he didn't come here and they gave him a big piece of the offense and all that. He's done very little to nothing. And yet there is no complaints, so he's figured it out. He's been on 3 teams in the last year and a half. And so maybe he's figured out, like, yeah, let me not screw up this anymore. Let me be a professional here. And so I will give him that. So, crema de la clutch. You might be right, my brother. The atmosphere might be helping him. It might be influencing him. Or he finally grew up and figured it out. Robert Martin is checking in from Winnipeg, Canada. Thank you, sir. Winnipeg Bombers to win their 10th Grey Cup. Oh, win the 110th Grey Cup. Oh, yeah, there it is. There's another one there. I didn't see it. Fins up, baby. I got a jet, Big O. No problem, Robert. I appreciate you checking in, my man. It's all good. We know that in the live show, people pop in and pop out. That's kind of the thing. You don't hang around for the whole thing. But remember, if you got to walk away, let it play. Let it play. Let it play. And don't forget, you can make a Bitcoin donation or any kind of donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. And of course, you can make a Bitcoin donation, which we love our Bitcoin donations. Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. Alan Blanco, custom printing and embroidery. We've got some pretty cool stuff that's coming, man. Tonight, we got Thursday Night Football. Joe Burrow's got a brace on that wrist, huh? I'm still taking the Bengals plus the 3.5. But Ravens are favored by 3.5. The over and under is 46. Plus 142 for the Bengals. Minus 170 for plus 142 for the Bengals. Minus 170 for the Ravens. Now I got it right. Miami and the Nets tonight, and that'll be at the Kaseya Center. And the Heat are favored by 3.5. The over and under is 215.5. 10:30 tonight. The Panthers continue their trip out west against the Kings, and the Kings are favored by 1.5 goals. I already took the Panthers in this one because even empty netters, when I could get 1.5 goals and it's a pretty good team, I will take the dog every time because that half goal becomes so big with empty netters, and you end up losing by 1 goal, and you end up winning by half a goal. You know what I'm saying? So in a way with hockey, that's kind of what I end up doing. And our Cats are, man, they're red hot right now. They're 10-4-1. Cats are playing really well. So I know the Kings aren't a bad team, but I'm going to take the 1.5 here on that one. And then we got the Dolphins on Sunday. They're favored by 13.5. The Raiders over the Raiders. The over and under is 46.5. Minus 700 on the money line for the Dolphins. Plus 500 for the Raiders. Make sure you call Alan Blanco and the great people at 3A Graphics. If your company, you need new uniforms, Hialeah Park, you need new uniforms, call my people right here. They're in Hialeah, 3A Graphics, custom printing and embroidery. Alan Blanco is the best, dude. They are doing a lot of our merch, and we'll be displaying that merch next week, I think. Probably next week. By the end of next week, I think we will have all the new merch out. So great stuff by 3A Graphics. So give them a ring. 786-618-1443. All right. Get to a little Dolphin stuff in a second here. Want to get into a couple of other things. My man Steve Calabro is in the house.
Let's get right into the Dolphins.
Yes. 13.5, dude.
I just did Vegas Insider, and it was 12.5.
Well, I saw it this morning, 13.5 on the Hard Rock app. Let me go look at it again.
Well, there's your problem. You should be,
Do we have the Hialeah one yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
All right.
December 7th.
Hey, don't
The Pearl Harbor Day. Pearl Harbor Day. We're coming on it.
Don't
tease you, right?
Well, not just tease me. Don't bust my chops about this. I gotta
make a wager. You gotta make a living.
I gotta take advantage here.
Make a living.
By the way, live betting is the greatest. It is my favorite. I love live betting. I'm trying to pull up the app here a second. Yes. I have to make sure, because if the VPN is on, it won't go. You have to have the VPN off in order for it to work. You see, did I turn it off? Yes, I did.
Well, if you make that wager right here, eventually.
No, I won't. Oh yeah, I know. I'm looking forward to making, but I'm not laying no 13.5.
No, that's tough. But even 12.5 is tough.
Yeah.
I mean, 12.5 is a little bit rough.
You know what I do? I would wait. This is what I do with the Hard Rock app. What I would do is I would wait for the game to start. And then, not that I'm hoping for it against the Dolphins, but you're kind of hoping that the Raiders...
A slow start for the Dolphins and...
The Giants game all over again.
Oh, my God.
Not 14, but you just let the Raiders take that 3 or 7 point lead, and all of a sudden that 12.5, 13.5 becomes like an 8.
Yeah, and you jump on it.
And then you jump on it.
Well,
and so that's what I've been trying to tell people, that if you don't like the early line, and maybe you like the favorite, but it's a little too much.
Wait till the first quarter it develops.
Wait for it to develop. Like tonight, I already laid the 3.5 with the Heat. But if the Nets go out on a 8-1 run to start the game, all of a sudden the Nets are favored by a point or 2 or 3, and then all of us, you know what I'm doing there? I'm doubling my bet there. Now I'm covering myself.
One thing that I learned the hard way. Last week, I made a colossal bad bet.
Why is that?
The Giants in 17.5. You would need to give them 50 to make it. It's almost as if, as much as I'm rooting for the underdog, Tommy DeVito, Jersey kid, blah, 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 blah. It's like, at one point I was saying, and this is a little bit harsh on Tommy DeVito.
13.5.
Oh, well, on Vegas Insider, it's 12.5, which is another app that I guess.
Yeah, but they're not a book.
They're just making the line. Yeah, and you can't get that bet. You got to hunt for that bet.
Right, exactly.
You got to hunt for those odds.
Right.
So I'm thinking how bad can the Giants be?
Oh,
well, you know what? It's really bad.
Oh, they're bad.
It's really bad.
They're bad.
And I feel bad for Tommy DeVito. He seems like a nice kid. He's got a lot of accomplishments in high school and college and all, but people were telling him, well, maybe he just isn't an NFL quarterback. I don't know, because he had nothing around him, right? But perhaps he isn't. But I don't know if the Giants are an NFL team.
Yeah, no,
they're that bad.
Yeah, they're bad.
I'm pretty sure that sure that Florida State or Alabama can give them a run for their money.
They're already beaten down as a team too.
Oh,
they know they're not going anywhere, so it's really hard at this point. You know what I mean? It's just,
and they got
the mistake. It's just that they were so stupid. You know what they really had to do? Give nobody a contract last offseason. Not Saquon and the quarterback. Because you don't sign running backs anyways, okay? Especially injury-prone ones. And quarterbacks, brother, Daniel Jones was nothing. You can go find somebody else.
He's
that can
serviceable. That's about it.
Yeah, that's
he's a C student.
He wasn't anything last year either. It was mostly Saquon and his running. That's what stood out for Daniel Jones was his running, not his arm.
So that leads me to something. This is an opinion I'm going to throw out there. Maybe your viewers have it. Maybe you have it. You know, a lot has to do. You know, maybe it gets that unheralded group, that GM and that front office. Apparently, the Giants front office is pitiful.
Yeah.
They're pitiful, right?
Yeah.
Now, compare them to the Dolphins.
Yeah, let's talk about a real team. Enough of the Giants.
So the Dolphins, like, as much as
boring to talk about the Giants.
Greer, he's done a hell of a job. Now, are they great? No, they're not great yet. They haven't beat those.
They can be great,
but they're damn near close.
They can be great.
They're close to great. They're unfortunately.
That's why I was so pissed with the Buffalo game, because they can be great. And the Philly game was a tight game, and the KC game was a tight game.
It's not over till it's over.
No, but I wasn't all bent out of shape with those, because the efforts were there, where the Buffalo game just got me, unacceptable.
But look, we're halfway point. We're at the halfway point, so to speak. If you really think about it, a football season, 9 games into it, 9-10 games is about halfway, because you're hoping to get a 1 or 2 playoff games. So you're halfway into your world, right? And I think that they have a chance. That they may not. It looks like, I hope I'm wrong. It looks like they're going to be a very good team, but they're not going to be great this year. But they certainly have 2 things going for them. Next year, they could be better than they are this year. And I'll tell you, they are fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
You watch some other games in the NFL.
Compared, yeah.
It's like watching paint dry.
Yes.
You watch the Dolphins, and you're like, this is really fun.
Yeah.
And it's I go to the games. I'm a ticket holder, right? So I go to the games, and I have fun at the games. And then I go home, and on Tuesday, I watch it again. I watch it on TV. It's like almost like it's also an enjoyable experience, because they're scoring. Even when at least they're throwing downfield.
Oh, yeah.
Remember not too long ago, they were saying Tua can't throw the long ball. Now they're saying he's
the best.
He's got one of the best, long ball threats in the game, right?
Yeah.
So it's good that hats off to the guys in the front office. I think they've gone from a average team or a little above average team to a very good team. They have the potential to be a great team.
I said that they would prove to be one of the best front offices in the NFL, and I think they're already there, actually.
They've done a great job.
I think the Dolphins are one of the best front offices in the NFL.
I'll tell you.
And this team has enough to be a great team. They just got to put it all together. And I think now the defense is going to turn the corner.
Well, hopefully. Now I can tell you, there's 2 other good front offices.
When you shut down Pat Mahomes, and you
very
limit
good.
his ass to 14 points, and he did nothing in his second half of a game, and
you
put
shut him out in the second half is
and
big
you
time.
put Travis Kelce in a vice grip for 14 yards.
Good sign.
I think the Jalen Ramsey thing is just going to turn the corner for this team now.
And they had Howard
it
then
brings
too.
The balance.
Yeah,
now.
with Howard and Jalen,
right,
you need both. You need both.
And Holland was missing a game before.
Yes, yeah.
So now you've got one of the best safeties back with 2 of the best corners in the NFL. What's it called? Jalen Phillips got banged up a little bit. Now he's got a sack in 3 straight games. Chubb is playing absolutely fantastic. He's stripping the ball. He's sacking. I just really think the defense is now turned. Now the offense has to kind of turn that corner of when you face a physical opponent, can you punch them in the mouth also? You know what I mean? But I think the defense is ready now. I feel sorry for the Raiders this week.
Oh, they're going to get beat up,
I think they're going to get beat up badly because Aiden O'Connell is going to go, oh, shit. I got to pass against those 2. That's why they're going to throw against Kohu. That's why they're going to go to the middle of the field. And that's where I think Holland will now pick up his interceptions in the second half of the season because he will have less of the field to worry about. He's not going to worry about the outside of the field.
He's
just going to worry
right
about
in the middle,
the
and
middle of
deep,
the field,
and
deep, everything that's in the middle and deep. And I think he's going to start picking passes left and right, and it starts this week. Watch.
So I also think, just talking about front offices, there's been there's 2 other front offices that people are well aware, but certainly the guy in Philly has done a hell of a job.
Oh, they're the best.
That guy's
they're the best.
No, but remember, he got benched. Remember years ago when Kelly became the coach and the GM and blah blah, and that was a debacle. But that guy was sitting in a cubicle.
Howie Roseman
was sitting in a cubicle in the back of the office.
Howie Roseman is the best in the business right now.
Well, I can tell you something. San Francisco picking up Chase Daniels to work with Bosa in that defense, that's a hell of a pickup.
No, I mean Lynch has been amazing. He's done a great job,
and he got lucky with Purdy. Let's
picked him.
I know, but that's a coin toss pick.
Okay, but you picked him.
I know, but
I got to give him
it was
credit.
a fortunate pick. It was a very fortunate pick for them, right? But getting McCaffrey, that's huge. Daniels on the defense, that's huge.
Yep. The Purdy thing. I'm not going to go so much with luck on you on this. There's a little luck to it, obviously in the draft. There's always a little luck, but Mike Shanahan's an offensive guy.
So he knew what he was picking.
He had to have known what the hell he saw in the kid. You know what I mean? He goes, okay, so he doesn't have a great arm, but he can make decisions and he can deliver the ball. That's all I need right now, and that's all he's doing. He makes good decisions and he's accurate. He's not special in anything, but he's special in his accuracy and his decision making. And that is so important.
I think he'll get better too. 2-3 years now, you might have a Brock Purdy that is like, you know what?
Because the confidence grows.
As his confidence grows, as he learns the defenses, as he learns how to just play.
It could go the other way also.
Well, people figure him out, but I think they would have done that already. But now, it's 12, 13 games by now. They would have figured it out.
No, it's more than that now. He's well over 20 games.
Yeah, so they would have figured him out by now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I think he's going to be
better. He hasn't
better
been in a lot of big moments yet, and that's what he needs.
Well, he hasn't been in the playoff game, and
that's what he needs. And that's where you get measured.
That's where he got hurt, right? He got the last year. Yeah. So at any rate, so those offers.
They won't have to pay him.
They got 2 more years. They got 2 more years.
They got 2 more years.
They got 2 more years,
and
right?
they can tag him also to kind of control him.
They got a bargain there.
Yeah,
they picked up the bargain of bargains. He's getting abused almost.
Yeah.
When you really think about it, from the salary abuse, it's really a salary abuse.
For the money he's getting. Yeah. Although he's getting bonuses too at the end of the year because he probably got one of the largest bonuses last year.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. When you're that low in the draft pick and you end up overperforming your contract, then there's a residual that comes after that, and so he might have earned himself another $500,000 or $750,000. Look it up. Look it up. I'm sure it's there somewhere.
But Big
Brock Purdy's
salary last year,
salary bonus.
It's on Sport Track. Sport Track would have it, right?
Yeah, maybe.
But even then, he's
I know
he's
you're
performing
saying.
at a $30 million level.
Right,
you know
right,
what I mean?
exactly. You are correct.
According to the other guys, I mean, remember they're paying. They're paying Jimmy Garoppolo $27 or $28 million a year over 3 years.
Yeah,
and Brock Purdy is probably he's doing at least 28 times.
Yeah, it's like what the Dolphins do with running backs. Nobody gets more mileage for less money on running backs than the Miami Dolphins.
It really is a shame. Well, but there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of teams in the league.
Smart for an offense.
I know, but there's a lot of teams in the NFL that kind of abuse running backs.
Well, that's kind of what it is now.
Yeah, they can almost abuse them. The only guy that's not getting abused is really McCaffrey.
Well, yeah,
and Henry, Derrick Henry.
That's because they're not paying the quarterback, so they can pay McCaffrey.
Yeah, exactly.
The day you have to pay the quarterback.
What do you get?
You got 705 bonus. You got 19,000, so 782 last year.
782. Come on.
Wow. 870 this year.
870.
985 next year.
Right.
1.1.
It's peanuts. It's almost like it's like
garbage. But what bonus did they give him?
$77,000 signing.
Oh, no. But what bonus did he got at the end of the year? It didn't
$19,000 last year.
Oh yeah, well that's his signing bonus because of the
signing was 77.
The roster bonus or whatever it was, right?
I mean, come on.
Yeah, the roster bonus.
I mean, it's like abuse.
Yeah, no.
It's almost like I feel like he
19,000 in San Francisco can't buy you
a month's rent,
a round trip on the BART. The BART is a subway, by the way, for those of you that may not know anything about San Francisco. The BART is their subway. So
it's a sin. It's like
19,000 doesn't buy much.
Think of the abuse that's happening there, and then
19,000 is like it's half a Bitcoin.
He's throwing the ball to Debo and Christian, who are making like 20 and 30 million. You know what I mean? Like,
and his tight end.
Tight end. Yeah, Kittle's probably paid fairly well too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, he's in the high teens probably, right?
I'm sure. He's right there with Kelsey.
But he's also very good. But
he's a monster.
Anyway, back to the Dolphins. This game, I'm going to the game this week. Going with get this. So my best friend, he's a Dolphin fan. His name is Tony, from New Jersey. Like, you know how Tony became a name in New Jersey. You know how it became? So a lot of Italians migrated, through Ellis Island, and they had to put on the back of the T-shirt to New York. So that's why there was a bunch
yeah.
of Tonys, right? So anyhow, so that was there's a bunch of Italian things like that. You know, Italians make the Fiat. Fix it again, Tony.
Right.
Fix it again. That's the analogy for the car there. But at any rate, good. He's my best friend. He knows where all my skeletons are. I've known him since we were in grade school. And I love the guy. He's a fantastic guy. Yeah, there's a decent amount of skeletons. Although he's got a lot of, he might have a few more skeletons than me, so I know where his skeletons are. So it all equals out. But he's bringing a bunch of his buddies down from the north. Two of his buddies from the north, and one from Del Rey, who's originally from the north. Two of them are Raider fans.
Oh,
and I'll be
poor guys.
I'll be what do you call it? I'll be tailgating with them.
Yeah, they'll be
with my wife and the gang, and we always have a nice spread.
Those poor Raider fans, they're really delusional right now because they won against the Jets and the Giants, and they think they're on cloud
Giants,
nine.
Forget it. I mean,
no, there's the Jets too. Well, those are two of the worst offenses in the history of mankind.
But at least the
Jets
they
can't score with a fistful of dollars in a whorehouse.
but the Jets at least have a decent defense.
No, they have a great defense.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is
I worry about their defense.
Their offense can't score.
No, they're horrible.
That's what I'm saying. It's
horrible.
terrible.
But at any rate,
by the way, they are already asking for the Jersey guy picks.
Okay, I got him.
Let's go.
It's ugly. It's pretty ugly, and
This is not a good week.
It's okay. So
it's not.
First pick. He likes the Vikings at home over the Broncos. Plus 2.5 for the Vikings.
Yes, plus 2.5.
Now that's all about Joshua Dobbs, right? That's is the quarterback really a quarterback?
I kind of like that. I kind of like that bet to take the dog on the road because you still can't trust Denver. And Denver did everything to lose that game this past week. I mean, it was 3-1 in the turnover ratio, and you were tied at 15.
Yeah.
You needed a fourth turnover in order to just kind of you needed them to have 12 men on the field so you can re-kick the field goal and win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's like
crazy.
Yeah. So I like that one actually.
So,
I mean, not that I'm betting it, but that one's actually pretty good.
Next one he likes the Seahawks over the Rams. -1.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Right?
Yeah, I can see that. The Rams are a bad team.
His third and final pick, that's a little bit weird. But I was talking to him. And I may have influenced him on this one. And this is the worst thing you can do. So if we certainly want to help your viewers with picks, we also want to help them conceptually. Don't use your heart ever in starting to analyze.
Oh, I thought you were saying the worst thing you can do is have Steve influence you in anything.
Well,
I thought that's where you were going. Okay,
I was one step away from that. But so I happen to be, for some reason, I have no idea. I have no affection for this city. I think it's a horrible city, but I feel for this franchise. Detroit Lions. The Lions over the Bears. Detroit over the Lions. The Lions over the Bears. He's picking the Lions. I happen
7.5.
In this case, 7.5. Right?
Yeah.
It's a tough pick at 7.5. I wish it was 6.5.
Yeah.
He likes the Lions. He just thinks that they're a little bit on a roll.
There's nothing about the Bears I like.
Well, the Bears are a mess.
I don't like their offense. I don't like their defense.
Their organization
and
is
Detroit
a mess.
Is playing
a good game,
outstanding football.
Good football, and they got a hell of a. I mean, look at Jared Goff. He's like reborn.
Jared Goff,
reborn.
Let me tell you something. Here's where I was wrong. Okay, because Man Campbell was a guy that raw stuff. I don't believe in those kind of coaches. So what he did last year shocked me, and I said, if he does it again this year, then I'm wrong because I just didn't believe him. I like him personally, but I just didn't believe in the raw stuff. And I got to see you make a team better. And now you built a staff that Jared Goff is playing better than the guy for the Rams that's considered an offensive guru.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know that he won a championship with Goff. Right? Yeah, it was
championship,
Goff.
but
he won a Super Bowl with Goff, right? A few years back when the Rams.
No. What's his name? It was the Detroit. That's when they.
Or was it?
Was Detroit?
Oh no, yeah. With Goff, they lost.
They lost it, and then they got
right.
They got Stafford.
Yeah, it was Stafford that they wanted.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
right.
So he got Goff to play better than he ever did with McVay.
He's playing exceptionally well.
And
reborn.
Yeah, dude.
Reborn quarterback. It's
that
unbelievable.
That running game is excellent
And
with
getting
both
rid
guys.
Think how risky it was at the beginning of the year. They got rid of Jamal.
Yeah.
Right. And
Amon St. Brown has always been a good player in the last few years. Now he's got a quarterback.
It's a decent team. I
and
think
their defense is good.
I think
not
it's decent, not good. It's decent. It still gives up some plays, but it can keep you in games overall. And the offense has been just outstanding,
really good, and for 2 years now. This is 2 solid years. So that's his picks.
I was wrong about Man Campbell.
I mean,
I
Seahawks.
got to give him a lot of love, man.
Seahawks, Vikings, Seahawks, and the Lions. I mean, they're not bad picks. I think they're a decent pick, but I got to tell you,
I don't like giving 7.5, but the Bears are so bad, and I know it's a divisional game and all that kind of stuff, but I like the wise guys picks. I got to say that all three of them makes sense.
Well, and the Lions ones, if he loses the Lions ones, he's going to blame me because we were talking about the Lions for about 20 minutes.
No,
and then he gave me the picks, and he goes,
"I'll give you love on that one, Steve. I like that one.
That was
that one.
That was it. But now for me, I'm wondering. So what should I do? I want to kind of before I leave, I want to ask you. I'm going with these Raider fans. Should I? What should I do? Should I bet the game and maybe do live bet? Two of the guys are going to be sitting right near me, so I can maybe a little bit show it in their face. Or
you don't want to rub it in.
No, they're decent guys.
No, because
right?
we've been in their position for decades, having the gritty team that has no quarterback. I was on yesterday with JT the Brick, and he works for the Raiders, and he was in fact he works for Raider Nation, which is like a whole Raider channel and all that. And so I was there, dissing his Raiders on the Raider channel. And so I was telling him that I have a kinship to you guys. I said, because as a Dolphins fan, I've been there with the gritty team because they've got receivers, they got a running back, they got a decent defense. They are just missing the one guy that they're missing the quarterback, and they're and right, exactly. And so I said that's what our Dolphins have been forever until we got Tua. That I feel that Tua is good enough to win. But you know what I mean?
But the franchise is weird. So first of all, Al Davis, you love him or like him.
No, he was phenomenal.
He was interesting
until he got old.
Right. Yeah, he got a little weird. Now his son's a little bit quirky.
His son is old Al Davis.
But quirky. Weird.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a weird, quirky dude there.
He's old Al Davis. He's certainly not young Al Davis. Young Al Davis was one of the greatest football people in the history of
he helped
this league.
The whole starting the NFL.
The whole thing. Al Davis is one of the 5 baddest men in the history of football.
That's ancient history now.
Yeah,
it's not even in the same city.
No.
They're like Oakland. Where's that? Where's Oakland? They're in like they literally. I don't know. There's something about the organization I'm not crazy about. And their front office.
Mark Davis gives you nothing to be crazy about.
And their front office must not be that good because they thought Jimmy G was the answer and they paid him. I know there wasn't a lot of choices, but you pay him $28 million a year.
You know where they messed up in their front office? When they fired our guy. Reggie McKenzie, who works with Chris Greer.
Yeah.
He's the guy that drafted Khalil Mack, and he's the guy that drafted Derek
they would have made a good defense. Yeah.
And he's the guy that built that team, and they did get to the playoffs. And then the following year, they had a down year, and they ended up firing everybody to then bring in John Gruden and all that mess.
Well, that was the $100 million. They're going to buy.
You didn't have to fire Reggie McKenzie. You should have left him in place. But I'm glad you didn't, because now we have Marvin Allen and Reggie McKenzie along with Chris Greer, and that's why the Dolphins have one of the 3 best front offices in the NFL.
But after Gruden, that whole debacle, the Josh Allen wasn't really a debacle; it was just a colossal failure. I'm sorry, Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels. You're talking Josh McDaniels. I fail in Denver, and let me go to Oakland to sort of double down.
Right.
Let me double down on the failure, right? I mean, what it is. Like, he's probably a great OC, but I mean, as a head coach, he is 0 for 2 in a big way. I mean, if he gets a third shot.
No, he will never get
If he gets a third shot, it's an unfair world at the highest level.
It'll never happen.
But anyhow, that being said, next week.
What do you got going?
Next week, we're going to be down on the slot floor.
Nice.
Because we're going to be
Tuesday.
We're going to try to get a little bit close up. We're going to try to do it. I don't know if we can a close up to the Bronco, because Saturday of Thanksgiving, the Bronco's going.
If your IT guys, if they put a plug against the wall here down there,
We have a cable that's.
Yeah, we'll just hang it up right out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could just go right down there.
Yeah. We have a cable.
Heck, you could
we have
be,
what 150, 200 feet, right?
Big O, you could be broad. Yeah, there's power.
Yeah.
You could be. I want to see you broadcasting from the driver's seat. Right in the driver's seat, and Sean could be in the passenger seat and running it like this way.
No. Sean can be outside, and then I can be sitting in the car, and you can be sitting in the passenger seat.
And then Saturday, you can come and win the damn thing.
There you go.
Not a bad thing. And remember, I gotta run because I got a million things.
As always,
I got a few things going on, right? But it's all good though. That's the good thing.
It's a 1 a.m. giveaway again.
1 a.m. giveaway. It's the Saturday, November 25th. Then 2 weeks later, we start Hialeah Park sports betting app. Not a bad thing. Pretty good. And then New Year's Eve this year is a little weird. So it's New Year's Eve is on Sunday. So we don't have a.
We're doing a pre and post game show.
Yeah, we don't have a hotel, and it's a little bit rough. But I invite everybody to come on Sunday, New Year's Eve. It's going to be a blast. It's a nice party here. But on Saturday, before New Year's Eve, December 30th, we said, you know what? Just for the heck of it, we're going to get. You know how my wife always gives me a little. She busts my stones a little. She says, and she's kidding. I love her dearly, but she's kidding around. She's watching those TV commercials. With Lexus and Mercedes and stuff. And they have the big red bow around Christmas.
Yes.
As if somebody actually buys their wife a Mercedes for Christmas, right? And so what I just said, we were in the marketing meeting.
Must
I
be
said,
nice.
You know what? On Saturday, let's give away a Mercedes as long as you put a nice big red bow on it.
There you
So we're
go.
going to have a nice big red bow all December. No, that's the closest my wife's going to get. I'll let her sit in the Mercedes. It's a white Mercedes with a big red bow.
But by the way, just a little tip. You do know that dealerships carry the bows?
Yes, yeah, we bought the bow. We bought the bow.
You don't really have to buy it. Also,
no, we didn't buy the car yet because we don't know who's won the car
just
yet.
To give you like a heads up, when we surprised my daughter with an RDX from Craig Zinn's Acura, they let us borrow a bow.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So then we made the present, and then we
give the bow back,
and then take the bow.
It's on
back.
the roof too. It's on the roof.
Right,
got to be on the roof. Right.
So just so you know, if you happen to give a car as a present, this was a lease, by the way. It wasn't, I didn't buy the damn
sort
car.
of a gift. Sort of a
gift. Yeah, it's like it's a gift for 3 years, and then you give it back. You take the bow and you ask them, hey, you got a bow to borrow or whatever, and then they'll, if you lease or buy a car, usually they'll work with you on that. Just in case, some people may not know that, but dealerships actually have bows stashed.
So, Big O, I'm on my way out. I'm just going to tell you that you just crushed me. If my wife's listening, she's going to say, well, Steve, Big O says I can have the car for 3 years and you can give the bow back. She's
a lease.
She's due for a car too. She drives a 2010 car. She loves it. It's a white Lexus that is beautiful. But it's 2010, you know what I mean? So she's got a point.
I gotta tell you something, man. I missed my 2010 TSX. God, that was a tank. It was a great car. If I wouldn't have totaled the bitch, I'd still have it, man. It was such a good car, man.
Well, you got to drive with your eyes open.
Yeah, that does help.
At any rate, so Bronco this Saturday, Mercedes Saturday before New Year's Eve.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. And you got a big red bow with that one.
Come on down and win that Bronco before OJ does.
And next week, we'll see you in the car. Adios, guys.
All right, baby.
Be good,
Steve.
Take care.
Steve Calabro, baby. The man that gets it done here at Hialeah Park. Loosest slots in the state. Come on by. We are in the second floor poker room. We'll be back here on Tuesday having some fun. Fabster32 says, Big O, Sammy Hagar, Mike Anthony, Jason Bonham, and Joe Satriani playing Van Halen tunes next July 13th, West Palm Beach. Get your tickets, bro. I'll be there. I'm going to go to that concert. That's going to be a lot of fun, man. To have Anthony singing the backgrounds for Sammy, and they're doing all the, and they have they're going to have another singer that will sing some of the David Lee Roth songs, if I'm correct. And that's how they'll do it. But yeah, man, it's going to be cool. I'll be there. So I will see you in July, my friend. I'm looking forward to that. The Heat making me believe we have a chance in any playoff series. Again, Spo is just simply a top 5 coach all time. Yeah, Spo's the man, bro. Spo's the man. I have so much respect and belief in Spo. It's just ridiculous how much I believe in Spo. Put it that way. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Time served. I didn't see this. Says Steve, what's up from Bergen County? Yeah, you would have gotten Steve going there. All right. And yes, hit the like button. Dolphins favored by 13.5. Minus 700 in the money line. The over and under is 46.5. Plus 500 on the money line for the Raiders. Cater Kohu will start at nickel. All right. So Needham is back and healthy, but he'll be playing in the dime package. I love the depth. I think it's a positive. Braxton Berrios had a day off. He's back, looking good. So he'll be playing. You got Craycraft back. They cut, what's it called? Robbie Anderson, whatever. I'm sure they'll put him back onto the practice squad. It's probably where he belongs. I know we saw Tua with the cornrows yesterday. Good for him. Got a new do. But what he said yesterday, to me, we talk about this selflessness. We talk about leadership all the time, right? We talk about being a winner. And these are things that Tua possesses. He oozes all this kind of stuff out. And one of the things that I love about Tua, and we talk about it all the time on the show, people will try to bait him into saying stuff. You're not going to bait him. You're not going to get him to talk himself up. You're not going to get him to diss an opposing team or player or something. You just don't bait him into that. And then the other things that we have all learned of Tua, if you haven't yet, you know it by now. Like I said, he's about the team. He's never about himself. He doesn't care about himself. That's why he, thank God he doesn't play like that anymore. But he played with some reckless abandon that used to piss us all off here, because look at him now. Nobody's talking about injuries. Nobody's talking about any of that. Why? Because he's playing the game the way we talked on this show many times over and over again, how he has to play. The same way Greasy played, the same way Montana played, the same way Brady played, the same way Peyton Manning played. Get rid of the football. Dan Marino played that way. I don't care how big you are. I don't care how hard you can throw it, how fast you can throw it, what quickest release you have. Get rid of the football, and just like Drew Brees, and you will live forever in this league. And look at him now. He has not looked like he has even been close to getting injured. Why? He's getting rid of the football. He's learning. And yesterday he was asked, about winning the MVP, an individual award. Let's play it, Sean. Do me a favor. Let's hear from Tua Tagovailoa.
Brother, I just want to help our team win the Super Bowl. I think that would be the greatest deal. When everything's said and done, no one can take that away from you.
Love that, man. That's why I'm a big Tua guy. That's why I've always been a big Tua guy. I was scared as hell, like so many with his injury history. That terrified the crap out of me. But once they drafted him, I remember Lisa. I don't know if Lisa's there on the chat board, but I remember Lisa, and I said, hey, man, listen, he can play. Injury history. If he kept playing like he was playing the last 2 years, yeah, he wasn't going to make it very long. He was going to be out of this league very quickly. Not because he can't play, because he would have injured himself out of this league. That's the only knock I could ever have on that kid. And that's what you want from your quarterback, man. Marino wasn't about himself either. Marino just wanted to win, dude. You know what I mean? And Jason Taylor didn't give a shit about himself. Zach Thomas didn't give a shit about himself. Tim Bowens didn't give a shit about himself. Those guys didn't. Those guys played for the team. Oronde Gadsden. I've watched guys over the years, guys that just left it all out there all the time for their team. Look at X. Say what you want about X. I know he's, and I've said plenty with a lot of the off the field issues would drive me crazy with his ass, and the contract issues too that used to drive me crazy, and we haven't had those for a while now, thank God. But that guy plays hurt, man, and he didn't have to play hurt last year, and he didn't have to play hurt this year either. You know what I'm saying? And somehow or another, he finds a way to get back out there on the field. Look at Teron Armstead. He's getting all the money. He doesn't have to play. He played with 5 injuries in the playoffs last year. No reason for him to do that. There's a level of selflessness that you need in order to be a real leader of anything. Okay? And this kid possesses every bit of it, man. Love that answer. Love that answer. I thought that was a fantastic. That's typical Tua. That's your quarterback. Right there, baby. Let's see. What else do we have? Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show anytime you're watching the platform, day or night. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show, and you can send in a Bitcoin donation. Jayhawk says, speaking of Tua, I feel that his style on deep balls is to throw them up high enough to the wide receivers, give him a chance to make a play. That's why you rarely see him throw them to a point that they're uncatchable. Well, it's a matter of touch and to kind of lead and place it in front. And that's the key thing. And he definitely can do that. So Lamar Jackson is pissed at himself. I read this story, and you guys know we talk about Lamar all the time, and obviously Lamar will be facing the Dolphins in a few weeks. We'll watch them tonight. But I'm reading this story where Lamar is pissed because he missed some people. He does it all the time on deep balls. It's funny because people don't watch. They throw out this MVP talk, and it's like, do you really watch the games? You know what I'm saying? And so he was pissed about, being inaccurate with Zay Flowers and Odell Beckham. Also, there was a couple of plays that he had, and he goes, I mean, it's right there. I'm pissed off. This is through the team's website about it, to be honest with you. I watched the game, and it's like it might be a difference in the game if we connect with that one. Can't dwell on it. Hopefully this Thursday we catch them when we want them. We have success with the deep ball. We connect, and we have chemistry there. And he goes, I believe the big playability is there. In practice, we do it all the time. Those guys catch the ball downfield, 40, 50 yards down the field. We need to transition that over to the games. That's all. Well, here's the problem. Pro Football Focus, Jackson ranks 26th amongst qualified QBs in completion percentage, 31.4% on deep passes of 20 or more yards. 31%. That's pathetic. He's also tied for the 10th fewest completions on deep passes, 11. Somebody put out some tweet about that he connected on a couple and it was whatever, and then somebody then tweeted out, oh, you see how he and it's like, I could tell that none of them really watched the games. You know what I mean? Because he barely throws those because he can't connect on a lot of them. In the loss to the Browns, Jackson had 3 of those. Jackson's completion percentage passes is drastically lower than it is for any other distance. 10 to 19 yards, 72.9. 0 to 9 yards, 77.9. Behind the line of scrimmage, 95.7. It's a remedial offense. Problem is they keep everything right in front of him. And when you can do that, then he's fine. But once you shut the run down and you force him to go to second and third level reads and you're pressuring him, it's over. It's over. Any defensive coordinator won't say it publicly, but if you get them privately, they'll tell you, yeah, we just got to stop the run and pressure the kid, and he'll give up the ball because he can't be accurate on a consistent basis. And yeah, he has accuracy with stuff that's right in front of him. As I always tell you, because I always get new people on here constantly, go look at Lamar Jackson QB challenge competition. Go look at that, at him just throwing to targets. No pressure, no nothing. I just want you to watch that. It's embarrassing because that's kind of who he is. But he's an athlete, so he wows you with some stuff. And, you know, a lot of people, you know, the more, as I get older, the more and more I realize that there's a lot of people that cover this sport and tons of fans that really don't understand the quarterback position. They really don't. Have you ever watched that video that I've said many times? Because you've been with me. The Lamar Jackson QB comp. Yeah. Oh, we played it on here? Did we get tagged for it? We had to. Oh, okay. Right. Oh, yeah, because Marino's was nasty. Marino's throwing to a target's like 50 yards away, moving, hitting it right dead center. Marino was sick, dude. God, he had some sick accuracy. Man, he could throw a laser, and it was a pinpoint laser that Marino would throw. I don't know how many times I watched Marino zip it through the ear of a DB, right into the hands of one of his receivers, Duper Clayton. It was like a ridiculous feat that he used to do all the freaking time. Anybody that watched Marino, you know what I'm talking about when he would zip a ball. He always knew when to throw it, that the DB wasn't looking. That release was so quick that he would release it and it would go right by the DB's ear into the receiver. And you're like, DB did not know that was coming? And he would do this all the time. All the time. It was just a beautiful thing to watch. Tua is that guy. Thank the football gods for McDaniel. Thank the football guys for Chris Greer, too, because he's the guy that picked him. Big O, by now, I expected more from Claypool. Very odd. Jayhawk, you and I are on the same page there. And I put it on him. Okay? I put it on him. I'm not putting it on McDaniel because he coaches all kinds of receivers and plenty of people have success. So the fact that Claypool has not transitioned faster to make an impact, I lay it on him. So, yeah, I'm a little disappointed too. Yeah. Speaking of Tua, I feel that his style on deep balls is to throw them. Oh, okay, I read that. Yep. It's called great coaching, Big O. Harbaugh masks Jackson's weakness and promotes his strengths. Exactly. But you know what? Where I give Harbaugh a lot of credit is that he has conviction and he stays with it and he really supports Lamar. I mean, nobody would have supported Lamar this long like Harbaugh has. Oh, I've seen that Lamar video. He could hit the side of the barn. I think you mean he couldn't hit the side of a barn or the ocean from the boat. Zero accuracy. I mean, you just watch it. Just watch it. It's crazy. I can only imagine Warfield with Marino that would have been fun. Michael Irvin once said at a restaurant, someone dared Marino to throw a football and hit a stop sign. That's exactly what Irving said happened in one throw. Of course, dude. Marino used to warm up by throwing backward over his shoulder backwards like this. Like you'd be looking at him and he'd throw it this way. I don't know how he would do that shit. Yeah. And the one we showed you was like a 40-yard pass that he did like that. A 40-yard pass. But he would warm up all the time like that. And I would see Ed Perry standing, 20 yards away. Bam. Center of the fit. Bam. And I'm talking like this. This is something you and I would have struggled to throw right there. He's throwing it backwards over his shoulder, and it's dead center. He also could skip it on the floor. He would also do that. Covering Marino was fun in practice because he would do tricks. That's how gifted he is. Have you ever watched him do the golf trick? I mean, it just shows you what an athlete he was, and what he still is. Go look at him. There's one, I think it's Tom Garfinkel's Twitter account, and it's Marino where he hits the golf ball, and he walks up to the camera holding a hat, and the ball falls in the hat because he hit it straight up with a golf club. Like, what the hell is that? Who hits it straight up in the air like that and just walks at you with a hat and the ball falls in it? That's Marino. Marino was, I know that you young people sometimes hear us talk about him and we make him sound like he's larger than life. That's because he freaking was larger than life, bro. That's how special that guy was. It's just, damn. Yeah. Deadly accurate. Love accuracy. That's my favorite trait of any quarterback. When they're accurate, they are the most dangerous quarterbacks. Not the guy that can run, not the guy that can throw 100 miles an hour, none of that. Not the guy that's 6'6", none of that. The guy that's accurate, you don't want that guy, bro. You don't want to deal with that guy because that's the guy that's going to kill you every time. Lamar is not a superstar, but he can get it done with a perfect team. He's above average. No, he's not above average passer. He's a below average passer. He's an above average athlete. He's not an above average. He's not even average at quarterback. He's just a freak athlete, but he's not a good quarterback, bro. He's just not. That's the thing that he's an athlete with the ball in his hands. As I've said many, many times over and over again, Bill Polian got it wrong. Okay? He called him a receiver playing quarterback. He's a running back playing quarterback. Okay? Where Polian was wrong was the position. Called him a receiver. He's a running back playing quarterback. That's Lamar Jackson. Lamar is not a good quarterback, but whatever. It is. He's a great and a freakish athlete that will do things. That's what athletes do. Cam Newton will do things that used to freak you out. Doesn't mean he was a good quarterback. Doesn't mean he was ever going to be a great passer. And that's something that Lamar Jackson will never be. He'll never be a great passer. Can't be a great quarterback if he can't be a great passer. I've been working and listening to the show from my pocket. I refuse to stop listening under any circumstances. Let these young kids know about Marino, bro. Marino was my teenage hood, and those years are amazing. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. I wish he would have had the help he needs. Or, hey, Orlando, should I money line Panthers? No. Kings are pretty decent. Take the point. Take the goal and a half. That's what I did. I took the goal and a half. I think that's a better bet, taking the goal and a half. Let me see what the money line is. No, dude, it's plus 110. No. I think the better bargain is get the goal and a half. The Panthers can win this game or barely lose by a half point, by half a goal, So if they lose by a goal, they're not going to lose by 2 goals, So I don't, at least I don't think so. Could be wrong. And if I'm correct, Solars played in the last game, didn't he? Yeah, Solars played the last game. He had 19 saves. So Bob comes back for this game too. That's the other thing. I already took the Panthers plus the goal and a half. I think that's the bet. I took the Heat minus 3.5, and then I'm going to wait for the live line. I also took it's a BS parlay. Not a really difficult parlay. Where is it? Oh, man. Where's my parlay? How come I can't pull it up? How come I made the bet? Well, it's Jaime Jaquez over like 8.5 points. It's the Heat minus 3.5, and Bam Adebayo over 3.5 assists. That's my parlay. That's what I did. Jaquez over 8.5, Bam over 3.5 assists, and Heat minus 3.5. I did that one. It's a small one. It doesn't pay off that much, but it's all right. I like it. So there you go. What else do we have? Let's get to a little music history. Oh, and I do have a interesting story also that we've got to talk about. Let's see. First of all, let's get to music history on November 16th. In music history, we start off in 1985 on this date. Starship started a 2-week run at number 1 on the singles charts with a song that I cannot stand. I can't stand. We Built This City. God, that's like Billy Joel and we didn't start the fire. That's just one song I can't stand. In 68, the Jimi Hendrix Experience had the number 1 album with Electric Ladyland. In 2006, on this date, the official UK charts company declared Queen's greatest hits album the best-selling UK album of all time, with sales in excess of 5.4 million. In 74, John Lennon topped the singles charts with Whatever Gets You Through the Night. In 99, on this date, Korn released their 4th album, Issues, which were going to sell 13 million copies worldwide. In 2005, U2 performed their song The Wanderer on the CBS special I Walk the Line, A Night for Johnny Cash. The track off the 1993's Zooropa featured the Man in Black on lead vocals. In 2014, Bono was involved in a bicycle accident at New York Central Park that forced the band to postpone their week-long residency at The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. And boy, we were worried if it would stop him from touring too. In 2010, Kid Rock put out his 8th studio album, Born Free, which featured guests like Bob Seger, Sheryl Crow, and rapper T.I. Born free as the wind blows, as free as the grass grows. All right, here we go. Birthdays today. Pete Davidson. He is 30 years old today. Happy birthday to him. Jamie Adler, TV actress. She is 20. Missy Pyle, movie actress. She is 51. She's in Soul Plane. She's the blonde lady. She's funny, man. The mother. Oh man, I like Soul Plane. I can watch that one in a loop. There's just a lot of scenes in that one. TV actress Brooke Elliott. She is 49. Bol, basketball player, is 24. Paul Scholes, soccer player, 49. Lisa Bonet is 56. She always looks like she is totally ripped. Let's see. Maggie Gyllenhaal, movie actress, is 46. Christian Homer, race car driver, is 50. There's so many TikTok stars and YouTube stars, and I know none of them pretty much. It's amazing. Bruno Guiamares, soccer player, is 26. And that's it. That's it. Those are the folks celebrating birthdays today. Famous folks celebrating birthdays. All right. When sports and business collide, folks, we like doing something called the KSDT CPA Sports Business Report. love the folks at KSDT CPAs. We'll be there tomorrow, actually, in Dadeland and hanging out with them. And, of course, if you need the right company to guide you for your personal taxes, for your business taxes, please reach out to the great people at KSDT CPAs. Major League Baseball owners have voted on Thursday to allow the Oakland A's to move to Las Vegas, paving the way for baseball's second relocation in the past half-century. The potential move, which comes after more than 2 decades of failed efforts to secure a new stadium in the city to replace the aging Oakland Coliseum, and they weren't able to do it, so they are out of there. Remember, Montreal moved to Washington back in 2005. And also the Senators before that became the Texas Rangers back in 1972. So they obviously had a lot of issues. There's a backlash from A's fans. Chance sell the team, directed at owner John Fisher, who bought the franchise back in 2005, served as background noise as most of the home games for the A's. They went 50-112 in 2023, and they carried the lowest payroll in the majors. More than 27,000 fans showed up in June for the so-called reverse boycott, which I'm sure the owner, by the way, thanked you for buying those tickets and all the other things that you bought, parking and everything else. So now they will have, the A's will lease the Oakland Coliseum. The lease in the Oakland Coliseum will expire after this upcoming season, and the team has yet to solidify plans where it will play in Las Vegas. Although, from what I'm hearing, they're going to play in the AAA stadium of the baseball team there in Vegas. I forgot the name of the Vegas baseball team there, but they've actually got a nice stadium, so they'll add more seats to it while they obviously build the real stadium for them there in Las Vegas. It's got to suck being an Oakland fan because you've lost everything. The Warriors left across the bay. They're gone. Then you lost the Raiders to Las Vegas, and now you're losing the A's. Now, listen, the A's Oakland deserves this because they're a minor league town, and they don't. I already read you, our show goes a lot deeper than just sports. We give you reasons why. We showed you they can't even pay for 9/11 calls in the city of Oakland. Okay? People can call 9/11 for an emergency, and they could die waiting for somebody to help you. Okay? A police officer almost died that was shot, and they could not get through with 911. Okay? Other officers had to hear it on radio, and they raced over to get him and take him to the hospital to save his life. Okay? They can't afford to run their 911 in the city of Oakland. So they're going to build a stadium for billionaires? That's where it doesn't make sense. And that's where we give you everything. That is your KSDT CPA Sports Business Report.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
All right. What you got for me, Sean?
Well, it was part of the thing. The Vegas team is called the Las Vegas Aviators.
There it is.
They're in the Pacific Coast League, and they're the AAA affiliate of
the A's?
The Oakland Athletics.
Oh, okay. So that's cool. Okay, so then perfect. It goes with that. Perfect. Yeah, I figured it would be a West team. I first said the A's for the hell of it because it was either going to be them or the Giants or the Dodgers or the Padres or something along those lines. So that's even I know that's been the talk, that they're playing at that AAA stadium because it's the best. By the way, go look at the pictures of it. It's actually for a AAA stadium. You're like, holy shit, dude, this is a nice AAA stadium. So that what they can do is add some bleachers and add more seats if they want to. And then when they get their ballpark, then the rest is history. And the other thing that I predicted is that you're going to see a lot of those games 5:00 because they try to do shows early so you have time to then go spend money in casinos. So they're going to want you to go at 5 o'clock to the game, get out by 8, so you can then go to, because it's going to be a destination. Yankee fans are going to travel there. You know what I mean? Braves fans are going to travel there, all that. And so, and then the afternoon games they're going to, right. And you'll be able to watch those games at 2 o'clock in South Florida. You know, so the A's may be pop. I'm not saying all the games, but I'm saying a lot of games. You're going to see them, you know, those twilight type starts, the twilight double headers, you know, that kind of stuff. But it'll be just a twilight game, not a double header. I think a lot of that will happen also in Vegas. So those are some of the things that I've been reading about overall. What happened? Oh, JJ Bleday is there. Yeah, he was part of a trade. That's right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, JJ Bleday. Yeah, he didn't work out, unfortunately. You know, the Dolphins, by the way, pick 21 right now in the draft. Just to kind of throw that out there. The schedule. You got the Raiders, at the Jets, at Washington, Tennessee, and then the Jets again. All right, your next 5 games, you should go 5-0. We should be talking about a team that is 11-3. Okay? With 3 games left. It's pretty good. Let's hope that that's what they do, because if you take care of business, you're really going to set yourself up in a big time way. These 5 games, man, I mean, it couldn't have been served up better for you. And you now have gotten the healthiest you've been all year long. Are you kidding me? So this is a stretch of a bunch of winnable games. The Jet games will not be easy because those defenses. I know I'm a Dolphins fan, and I know I'm not supposed to say this, but I got to compliment the Jets. They have a hell of a defense. Okay, I call it like I see it here, man. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You guys know it. I do it all the time. And we got to give credit where credit is due. And they got one hell of a defense. Now, their offense is pathetic. They've got some weapons, but they don't have anybody that can drive the bus. So Miami should embarrass them thoroughly in that end. But it will not be easy to score on them. But you should win. You should beat both games. You should win both games against the Jets. The other ones, I don't think the Raiders should give you any trouble. Washington's not bad. Okay, Washington might be the more balanced team that you're going to face. Tennessee, you know, they got a young quarterback. You'll be fine. So, Polly King says, what's up, Big O? What do you think Tua will hypothetically accept to keep his core together? Get others paid or to add it? I think Tua will do the right thing every single time, dude. I don't think he'll be holding their feet to the fire. He'll get paid fairly, but I don't think he'll break the bank to the point that. And here's the thing. We have a front office that can draft, that can find players undrafted. So they are the perfect kind of front office when you do have to pay some guys and then you've got to go a little, cheaper around the other areas, but you still can find players. That's the front office you have as a Dolphins fan. So that's where the Dolphins are better built than some teams that are forced to pay their players. But remember, we have 3 years till that. Okay? This is his 4th year. Okay? Then you've got the 5th year. And then the 6th year is when the new contract will kick in. So you've got this year and next year still that you've got the window open. And then in that 6th year, you really have the 7th year. Why? Because the 6th year, you'll lower that number and you'll push back some of the signing bonus. So you really will have 3 seasons to actually get over the hump. It's what the media won't tell you. They like to sell drama and tell you, oh my God, cap hell and this and that. I'm the guy that tells you, yeah, the cap exists, but there are ways around it where you can push the can down a little bit and you can push the can down. So anybody that tells you there's hell this year or next year or the year after, they're not really following it. 4 years from now, we got problems. We got problems. They're going to, although, again, if they draft well, if they find undrafted guys, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. All right. We thank Ira Winderman, Matt Verderam, David Furones, Steve Calabro, as always. And Mr. Brunetti, thank you, sir, as always, for being a great supporter of our platform. We appreciate you. Sean Stanley, an honor to work with you every single day here of my life. And thank you so much, sir. We will see you all tomorrow morning, live from Dadeland. We'll be at the KSDT CPA offices. See you all tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show.